Okay. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Catholic Hangout. I literally just said everything I'm about to say 2 seconds ago, but we are, this is episode 2 of the Catholic Hangout. Unfortunately, we do not have Pine Sap with us today. We're riding solo, but what we do here is we have an open chat where people can join the chat at t.me/spexochat if you want to ask any questions. Doesn't even have to be Catholic. Open discussion. Come and talk to us at t.me/spexochat. I do have a couple of topics I want to touch on, such as like the JLP stuff and, the bishop that is not allowing the Catholic school to be called Catholic anymore because they're supporting BLM, things of that nature. So if you would like to join our chat, it is t.me/spexochat. Join the live chat and you can come on and ask any questions. All right. After that Boomer Tech moment, what's up, Jimmy Aiken Appreciator? How are you doing, buddy? We do. I think it's appropriate if we play that real quick. Hold on. Let's see if we can get some moonlight in here real quick.
If you get the Boomer Tech working.
Yeah.
Why these fake women shit?
Yes,
I don't
this
understand.
is the
Do they
vibe right
want
now.
me for myself or they wanna catch these hands? Stupid bitch, are you good? You be doing shit I just can't stand.
What's funny is that
so much
nobody
rain,
in the
always
cozy chat
got me
doesn't know what
feeling
the song
pain.
is.
Many cute bitches here. Fuck that shit. I can't trust
We've
no
been
bitch. I
artistically
just wanna
posting
put
this
my
for like
dick
4
and
days.
make that pussy pink. I just want your love tonight. I'ma put your ass on fork. Me amor. I'ma go out with the girl that I adore.
So yeah, so people that don't know, so Auth Access is one of like the 3 cringiest people in my chat, and he's been posting nonstop like car meetup stuff, and he thinks that we live in Star Wars, so everything relates to Star Wars no matter what the topic is. And so he's been posting these car meetup things, and he posted a car meetup thing with this song, and the song nobody knew, so we looked into it, and it was this guy TM7 who has like 0 followers on anything, but he's like a verified artist on Spotify, and he just has like the cringiest songs ever. So we thought it was him, but it's not. But TM7 is now like my favorite rapper of all time. I suggest everybody go and look into TM7, literally just the greatest lyricist of the 21st century, I think.
You can't see it in this song, but at the beginning he rhymes rain with pain, then he goes parentheses, yeah.
What was that song? He's like, I wake up and head to the store. What do I need? Some shirts and some shorts. That really spoke to me, as a person who has struggled with like, what do I need? And then realizing, oh, I need shirts and shorts. And he just really speaks to like the everyday man. So, all right. So, well, I did want to talk about something relatively serious. I posted this St. Ambrose quote, which like really struck me because like ever since I became a Catholic, literally every couple of weeks or months or whatever, like something I learn about regarding Catholicism speaks to me and changes like my entire worldview. Right. And this quote that I saw today, like really made me like stop and think about myself. So it says, "You must humble yourself before everyone and consider yourself the worst of all. If we have not committed the sins that others have, perhaps this is because we did not have the opportunity. The situation and the circumstances were different. In each person, there is something good and something bad. We usually see only the vices in people, and we see nothing that is good." And that made me like realize like, wow, I'm a scumbag, because like the hardest things that I've struggled with as a Catholic is one, vengefulness, which I talked about at length, like every time somebody does me wrong or I perceive somebody doing me wrong, like until they get their comeuppance or I feel that they've receive justice, I will like obsess about it, and I will be like, why didn't this person get like bad things done to them because of what they did to me, right? And another thing is like thinking that like I'm better than people. And I don't really think it's like a sense of pride, because I always attribute all my blessings and stuff to God. Like I know that I am nothing without God. I know that everything good from me is because of God. Everything good in my life is because of God. But like, for example, like I'll go out. I don't go out anymore because ever since like I became Catholic or whatever, like the friends that I had are just not interested in the same things that I'm interested in, so I really just don't really go out anymore. But like I went out a couple of weeks ago because my friend from work had a birthday and he invited me out, so I went out and we went to this bar. And I'm looking around, and all these people are just complete degenerates. You know, they're going there to find like whores or whatever, and like girls to get with or whatever, and they're going there to get drunk, and they do this like every weekend. And I'm looking at my friends, and I'm just thinking like these people are in their 30s, and like all they do is like they work all week, and then on the weekends they go out, they get drunk, and they look for random girls to have sex with, right? And I'm like, don't you want more out of life, you know? And I can't help but think like these people are older than me, and they still don't get it. Like they still don't want anything more out of life. They still don't follow Christ, you know? And like it's like kind of like looking down on them. And I'm grateful to God that like I'm not like that. And that's not the right way to be, because that's like the parable of the tax collector, I think it was, who was saying like, thank God that you're not making me like this person, right? And that's not the right way to act. You know, that's still a sense of pride, right? Am I right about that?
I get what you're saying. Like you can't be like, well, I'm so glad I'm not like that, because you probably still have pet sins you deal with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. I don't know your own personal life, but like, but there is a sense where you can be like, well, thank God I didn't go down this path. It's like, thank God that God saved me from this, and I pray that God guides these people to that too, you know? And it's not like in that parable which you're talking about, the Pharisees like, thank God I'm not like this person, and I'm not going to help this person be like me. That's the problem, you know?
Yeah. I feel like I'm not supposed to like look down on people. I'm supposed to realize that like there is still good in them that maybe I can't see, and that I, just because I found the path to Christ, I shouldn't be like, oh well, I'm better than them because I found this path and they didn't. I should be like, it's sad that they didn't find that path, right? It's not that I'm better than them. It's just that they haven't found that path yet, and they're lost. Like I should feel sympathy for them. I shouldn't be like using it as like a thing to say, oh, I'm grateful I'm not as bad as them, because like in other ways I might be as bad as them, or I might be worse than them, right? So like it's very hard to not have that like that sense, because I thought that it was like good to be grateful, to be like, oh well, look how bad I could be. Look at these people that are older than me, that don't have a wife or kids, that are just going out all night and partying and thinking that's what life is, and they're not even Christian or whatever, you know. But like I don't know, I feel like that's like also the wrong way to look at it.
Well, it's bad if you stop there. You know, like it's bad if you see a problem and all you do is just complain about the problem, because this is a problem with other people, but you don't address it. You know, what you should be doing, instead of looking down and like scoffing at people, is you should be looking down and reaching a hand out. You know, and maybe you need a hand up too. I mean, I'm sure there are sinners who've helped you in your life. You know, like we're all sinners, we're all struggling, we're all on this earth, and we should all help each other as best as we can. That doesn't mean anyone's going to be perfect, and no one should act like they're perfect. But I mean, we should recognize the faults in others while addressing the faults in ourselves and helping each other to fix the faults in one another.
You should pity them and you should love them, but you shouldn't judge them. That judgment is one of the biggest issues.
Yeah, that's true.
I struggle through the same thing.
What? Who's talking?
But I struggle, me, Pepe. But I struggle through the same thing with my family. Like, I have a lot of family members that are in a dark path, but you know, I pity them and I talk to them, and I don't like come in a judgment, like a judgeful way, but I do try to show them that, like ask some of my family members, like, hey, come to mass with me someday. You know, they don't come, you know, because there's always something, I guess. But you know, I always give, you know, an olive branch to try to bring them on to the light, and I always give them love.
Yeah, it's like of course, like I pray for them, and like I want everybody to come to Christ and stuff like that, but I feel like it's wrong of me to be grateful that I'm not in their position. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of like okay, for example, like my stepsister, right? So I never got along with my stepfather, right? He, like, we almost got into a fight. He kicked me out of the house when I was like a junkie and stuff, and like he was just like a total, like, I never liked him, right? So he always thought of me like I'm never gonna be anything. I'm not gonna do anything with my life. I'm always gonna be a piece of crap. I'm probably gonna die from drugs and all this stuff or whatever, right? fast forward, and now like I have my own house and wife and kids and all this stuff, and his daughter is a his daughter is covered in tattoos, neck tattoos, face tattoos. She's dating some guy in a band who just got a second DUI. She has no she has no idea what she wants to do in life, right? She's like 26 or 27 years old and stuff like that. And it's just like ironic that like you were so like, oh, your daughter is going to be this awesome person or whatever, and like Spexo is going to be this screw up or whatever, and just the opposite happened. And like part of me like gets some type of joy out of that like, yeah, you were proven wrong, you know, like, yeah, your daughter's the screw up and I'm the one that like made it, you know. And that is just such like a wrong way to think. And like that's what I'm learning. It's like I can't be prideful in that. I can't like, just because of other people's perceptions of me, or just because I'm in a place where I am, like I can't like allow that to fill me with pride and like allow me to like look down on other people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and what you need to be doing is you need to be praying for her, really, because it's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a daughter of God, and I mean, she's done such great evil to you, but she's also been like doing evil to herself, and it's not something we should rejoice in. It's something that we should be sad about. I mean, I'm sad when people do evil to me, and I'm even more sad when the people who do evil to me suffer. You know, it's horrible, and we should always be praying for our enemies. I mean, what's the passage in the gospel where it's like, you've heard it said, you should love your neighbor and hate your enemy, but I say to you, love your enemy and pray for those who persecute you. You know, it makes you a more holy.
I was gonna add in there too about I can't remember the saint or who said this, but I've always, what struck with me is the idea that God would say the greater the sinner, the greater the mercy of God. So that's always kind of helped me with that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's like, I mean, the biggest thing that helped me in the last couple of months was Pine Sap telling me that anything that our enemies have done to us, we have done 1,000 times worse to Christ. And that like struck me so hard that it made me change like my entire perspective on life. Like it made me realize like, how can I hold any type of resentment against anybody when I'm expecting Christ to forgive me for all the horrible stuff that I've done? But people that have like betrayed me or have done me wrong in such like honestly minimal ways that really didn't really affect my life overall, it just hurt me on a personal level. Like I can't let that go, but I'm expecting Christ to let like all the horrible stuff that I've done go, you know? So it's just like that really like touched me, because vengefulness is something that I struggle with more than anything. I am like an obsessive vengefulness. We did a stream on this, Pine Sap and I, where I talked about 2 specific stories where I literally was like obsessed with vengeance for years, like, and it ate at my soul and made me depressed and like had all these feelings or whatever. And it took me a really long time to let that go. And then when Pine Sap just put it in that like such a simple quote, like it really like struck to me. This guy is asking, Spexo, you did drugs before? Yes, I have. So I was going to do like my conversion story tonight, but I feel like that would have just been, I don't know, like it wasn't like, I have done it twice already. Like I've done 2 videos in the past where I talked about like my conversion story, and obviously they were like years ago, so things have changed or whatever. Maybe I'll do it again in the future, but I'm not planning to make this a long stream because tomorrow I have to wake up for mass, and I'm going to my first TLM mass tomorrow, which I'm very excited for, even though I have to drive an hour for. But anyway, yeah, I was a drug addict. I used drugs from like 14 to 19, basically. Overdosed 3 times, almost died. Got clean. Also was like an atheist. Went through a bunch of different tragedies, and through that process and different politics and learning different things or whatever, I came to believe in God, and then eventually I ended up being Catholic, and now I'm a Catholic extremist autist person. So that's like the overall general of my story.
Well, I think Spexo, like maybe not right now on the stream because you might be kind of pressed for time, but I do think like a video, like an organized video, maybe not a stream, where you explain like your story. I mean, don't dox yourself or anything, but like where you explain your story. I think that would help a lot of people, because I mean, I've had struggles with addictions too. I was addicted to pornography for years, bro. It took me a long time to get off of that. And like what really helped me was hearing the testimony of people who came off of it, you know? And so I think it would be beneficial to other people.
Yeah,
But
no,
I get it. You've already done the video before, so it's
yeah,
like
no,
go and
I've,
watch the video.
yeah. I mean, no, I'm gonna do it again because like there's much more updated stuff. Like the last time I did it was well over a year ago, and I have a very different and more. I guess I have more people following me, and I have a very different type of following now than I did back then. I guess. So I will do eventually like a full like testimony conversion stream or whatever again. But if you do want to watch my previous ones, they are on YouTube or whatever. But yeah,
Do
it's
you
what?
do you still have a copy of your Pray and Prepare episode where you talked about like your path to God and all that stuff? Because I don't think I saw it on YouTube last time I
Yeah,
checked.
yeah, I privated like a bunch of my videos. So what happened was basically like Antifa was totally like doxing me. This Antifa person just like wrote this like crazy article about me and took a bunch of things out of context or whatever. So I privated a bunch of videos. And but yeah, no, I still have all of those stuff like saved on a hard drive or whatever. But I only kept up the things that like I wanted to keep up because obviously my political and my religious views continue to evolve even to this day or whatever. So I wanted to like private anything that like I no longer really believe in now and stuff, I guess. But yeah. But yeah,
Well,
so
when
what?
when Antifa wrote that article, like doxing, I remember that. Wasn't that right after you met Matt Gaetz or something?
Yeah, okay, so there was two doxings of me. There was the first doxing, which was right after in AFPAC 2. AFPAC 2 was because I was with Matt Gaetz, and they didn't really dox me. They just like they called me by Spexo, and they just like took everything out of context that I said in a bunch of different videos, and basically tried to label me a white supremacist, and then but they used that basically to make Matt Gaetz look bad. And whatever. And then the second one, they totally doxed my real name, the real location I live in, and all this stuff or whatever, right? And they went like super in depth, but everything that they said in the article or whatever was completely either taken out of context or was like an omission of truth or whatever, and just tried to make me look like somebody that I like literally, even in my worst times when I was like this total like accelerationist type person that wasn't even religious, like they just tried to make me look like somebody that I totally wasn't. Like for example, they said that I was a member of Identity Europa. I was never a member of Identity Europa. First of all, okay, I'll just clear this up for now. The extent of my affiliation with Identity Europa was like in 2017 when I started like getting into like these type of like red pill stuff or whatever like that, and I realized that there was like an agenda against white people, that like there was clearly like a thing where like white people did not have the same social rights or whatever as anybody else. Like they couldn't like advocate for their own interest or anything like that. I was talking to somebody in a group chat, and I said like, oh, I wish that like somebody would say like, oh, there's something going on like against white people. And one of these people in the troop chat was like, oh, have you checked out Identity Europa? And I was like, no, what's that? And they were like, oh, it's a white civil white civil activist group or whatever, white civil rights activist group. And then I Googled it, and it said like the ADL said they're like a white supremacist group or something along those lines. And I was like, yeah, this doesn't look too good. And he was like, no, my friend's in it, and he says that it's completely everything's all good or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not really trying to join any like political group that's labeled as like a white supremacist or something like that. And he was like, well, I'll put you in contact with him. You talk to him or whatever. So he gave me his information, and I DM'd him. And I was like, hey, what's up? My friend told me about you, about Identity Europa or whatever. And we started talking or whatever. And I was like, the ADL says you're like a white supremacist group and like a neo-Nazi organization. He was like, no, of course, the ADL is going to lie and stuff like that. We're just a white advocates group or whatever. And I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. I'm not really sure I want to join anything like that. Like, what exactly do you do? And he was like, okay, well, I'll invite you to this Discord server. It's usually really only for like members and stuff like that. But like, maybe you can come in and you can talk and like, you see what we're about, and maybe you'll want to join or whatever. So I was like, sure. So I joined this Discord server, which I was literally only in for like a month. And the Discord server, they literally were just talking about like how white their kids were and stuff. And like then Patrick Casey would come on every week and do like a live stream, which was super boring, and I was just like not into it. And then they would like invite me to go to bars and meet up and stuff like that, and I was just like Like, I don't drink. Like, I don't like, I'm not gonna go to a bar with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not like not my scene. So, and they kept saying like, oh, we're going to do banner drops and stuff like that. So I started asking them, I was like, what exactly is like your political strategy to like actually make a tangible change of anything? Like, you say you're a white advocacy group. Like, what are you doing to actually make a change? And they're like, oh, well, we listen into these Patrick Casey call-ins and we do banner drops and we meet at bars and we discuss things and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you guys aren't really like doing anything. So that was like the first turnoff. The second turnoff was that everything in the chat was just about like how white their kids are or whatever. They were literally posting pictures of like their kids and being like, look how white I am, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this is kind of retarded. And I just realized they didn't have a real strategy. And then I saw some like documentary where like the original leader of Identity Europa was like literally a neo-Nazi and stuff. And like, I was like, and I saw him with like Mike Enoch and all these stuff. And I was like, all right, this is just not for me. So I left the server. So I was literally in the server for like a month. When Antifa doxed me, they like posted a thing that's saying, because like when I came in, I said, oh, I'm happy to be here or something like that. And they posted saying like, oh, Spexo was a previous member of Identity Europa. It was absolutely retarded. But yeah, that's
what you gotta do. You gotta pray for these people because they're falling into the sin of calumny, where they're just like lying about people, slandering people, trying to ruin people's lives, and it's horrible. And like I struggle with vengeance a lot too. I mean, I have a hard time forgiving people, especially people who say things like you know, the Protestants who go like Catholics are Mary worshippers and stuff. I'm a little uncharitable to them sometimes, and you know, like I have a very hard time dealing with people who argue like that, where they're just like stupid, for lack of a better word, and like not willing to listen to people honestly. But especially people who are like, I don't know, trying to ruin your life and dox you and your family. That's horrible. And the worse people sin against you, the more you have to pray for them.
Yeah, oh no.
I mean, it's not
100%.
gonna do you any good to like maul over this for the rest of your life, you know?
Yeah, but it just sucks now because like, I mean, like, I don't really care because I knew getting like when I started showing my face that I knew that like people were gonna try to like lie about me and talk stuff about me or whatever. So I don't really care about that. It's just like, it's a blatant lie. Like, if I was a member of Identity Europa, or if I was like part of anything, if I was part of the KKK or something like that, I would admit to it. You know, like I would be like, okay, yeah, I was back then, and I don't believe in that anymore, or something along those lines. You know, like I admit that I'm a drug addict. I admit that I was like a promiscuous, like terrible person, that I abused women, that I did all this horrible stuff. Like, but they just like lie to push this like agenda, and I'm like a nobody, which is like even more crazy that they went out of their way to like dig up all this dirt on me, right? That most of it isn't even true, or it's just taken out of context, and they just like completely just lie about me so that they could just associate my name with white supremacy, which is something that I've never, even in my most accelerationist days, ever identified as. Even when I was an accelerationist who I was like, oh, what we need to do is vote for like the opposite of what we are value, so that the country becomes even more insane and then collapses, and that'll cause a mass awakening, which was a total retarded view that I held at the time. But even at that time, I never said that I was a white nationalist. I never identified with white supremacy or any of that Wignat stuff or whatever. If I did, I would fully admit to it, but it's just so disingenuous that these people like just label you this stuff, and then they find out your real name, attach your real name to this stuff, and then so now like, I mean, luckily I'm in a position where it doesn't affect me, but like if I was like a younger person who didn't have a job or anything like that, and I went to a job interview and they Google my name or something like that, then the first thing that comes up is, you know, Spexo white supremacist. You know, it's really like just horrible what they're doing.
Well, the thing is, fundamentally, the reason why they act like this is they don't believe in forgiveness, you know? Like they don't believe someone can, like, repent of past actions. Now, I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I don't think you were really a Wignat. I mean, you don't seem that connected to Identity Europa. But like, these people don't care. They don't think you can be forgiven for past things. They just want to drag your name through the mud. They want to keep you down. And that's because they're not Christian. They don't have the sacrament of confession, you know?
Yep, big facts. Yeah, does anybody else want to jump in? Anybody else wants to say anything or ask any questions? You're more than welcome to. Just unmute your mic.
Oh, I wanted to say something. And it's about your testimony when you got off of drugs. When I was following you on Instagram like last year, a year and a half ago, your testimony really helped me like get off of all my addictions and all like my whole the whole like dark path that I was going on, and like I want to thank you for that, because if it wasn't for you and hearing your testimony and other Catholics, I probably would have still been a dumb wingnut doing drugs and acting stupid and all that. So I really appreciate your presence on the internet.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I really all glory to Christ, obviously, but yeah, I mean,
Yes,
if anything helped you, then I'm glad that I could be part of that. That means a lot to me. What else did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about the JLP thing, the Jordan Lee Peterson thing. So, I mean, I'm sure everybody is following what's going on, but Church Militant, which is a Catholic organization that Milo Yiannopoulos works for. By the way, I forgot to mention this. Milo Yiannopoulos is finally getting confirmed on July 9th, I believe. So I think everybody should, if you see him in my chat or whatever or anything, congratulate him. Definitely pray for him. He is like basically what people with same-sex attraction should be. It's that you realize that you don't have to give in to your degenerate, disordered desires, and you could actually change your life and stuff. And I'm not going to lie, at the beginning when he started saying that, like, oh, I'm straight now or whatever, I thought it was like a grift, but clearly it's not. He really has like sincerely dedicated his life to Jesus Christ and changing his life. Even though I definitely still disagree with him with Vatican II. We're going to change him from his mad trad ways, don't worry. But, he's awesome. I love Milo. So I wish him the best, and I think everybody should pray for him. He's finally getting confirmed and will be welcomed into full membership of the Catholic Church on July 9th. But anyway, so Jordan Lee Peterson, who I met at AFPAC 3, who was extremely nice to me and my father and gave both of us very good advice concerning like forgiveness of like family members that we were at odds with and things of that nature. And, I had nothing but pleasant experiences with JLP, and I've always been a fan of him, even though he's a heretical Protestant. But so Church Militant, ran by Voris. I don't know his last name. What's his last name? What's Voris's last name?
Last name is Voris. His name is Michael Voris.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah,
Voris.
his name is
Okay.
Michael Voris.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Retard alert. So Michael Voris did his company Church Militant did a mini documentary on JLP where a bunch of different people claimed that JLP engaged in homosexual acts, and they called him a homo predator, which is a really funny word. Before I get to that, in the first 5 minutes, they just gloss over the fact that JLP is denying the Holy Trinity and is denying the bodily resurrection of Jesus Christ, which I think is the bigger story, to be honest, or whatever, because that's not even a Protestant view. I don't even know what that is. Don't Protestants still believe in the bodily resurrection of Jesus Christ? And
well, technically they're supposed to, but what was the poll? 60% of evangelicals don't believe in the Trinity. I mean, it might just be he's poorly catechized,
I mean,
let's be honest though, a lot of Protestants are barely Christian at this point because of just the how schismatic they are and how many different denominations there are. You can just make something up and say that you're a Christian, and no one can question you because there's no central authority.
Yeah, no, I get that, but even the most crazy Protestants, they're Christian, so they should believe that Christ resurrected from the dead. That's the whole foundation of the Christian thing, right? That Christ rose from the dead. Otherwise, you don't have Christianity. So he's basically denying that Christ rose from the dead and that the tomb was empty. I don't even know what he believes. He was talking about it was actually spiritual and not really physical or something along those lines, which is just complete insanity. I don't even know what that belief is. I've never even heard of that heresy. I don't know. I've heard of denying that Christ rose from the dead, but saying that, oh no, he rose from the dead, but it wasn't physical. It was just in his spirit or something. It just makes no sense.
There was a heresy that it was before the Gnostics. I think there was a heresy that said that Christ was only spiritual or something, that he wasn't man. It's like some schizophrenic stuff. Protestants bring up these super old heresies and act like they're discovering the true church.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, Spexo.
a lot of evangelicals, they believe in, they think that the Book of Enoch is basically that it's canon and it's divinely inspired scripture, and all three books are. and that the church kept them out because they didn't want people to know the truth. So, you know.
Hey, Spexo, can I say something really quick
Sure.
before we continue? I would like to ask for some prayers for my best friend girlfriend's father, because a couple hours ago, when we were at the gun range and then we came back and we're like hanging out with them, and we just found out that his girlfriend's father just got sent to the hospital because at like 1 o'clock they said he was feeling like chest pain, he couldn't breathe well, and his leg was swelling up, and they thought it was a heart attack. But they found out that he's been diagnosed with, I don't know if you know what this is, sepsis or something like that. It's like this infection that's like life threatening. So if I could ask for some prayers, I would gladly appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. Definitely prayers for him in the chat. So anyway, JLP is accused of a bunch of homosexual activity by Michael Voris of Church Militant, who Church Militant, I won't lie, has definitely helped me a lot, especially in the beginning stages of my conversion to Catholicism. But what I will say is that everything presented was nothing more than hearsay. They had a bunch of drug addicts and homosexuals make these accusations, and they did not provide any physical evidence. They did not provide any substantial like text evidence or video evidence or anything along those lines. It's just people saying things. Now, while some of the things may seem valid because of how in detail they are, that's still not, that doesn't really hold any weight to me, if I'm being honest, because anybody could have a million different reasons to make up some type of lie against a public figure. Donald Trump had 17 different women claim that he raped them, right? Based, but probably not true. So I would say that unless there is like physical, tangible evidence, that we really should just take this with a grain of salt. And people are like, oh, well, is JLP gonna respond or something like that? Does it really warrant a response? Because if it was something like, oh, well, we have these text messages from you, or we have you on hidden camera saying this stuff or whatever, then that would warrant a type of response. But if you're just literally having drug addicts and homosexuals say stuff on camera, that really doesn't hold any credence to me. You know, like anybody could say something about anybody, and it means absolutely nothing. Like, look at all the people that make up rumors and say stuff about Nick Fuentes, right? And people that follow Nick Fuentes know that the stuff isn't true, and we could tangibly prove that it isn't true, but people could just literally say anything. That's like literally like the Jaden and Simon thing. They went on this stream and they said a bunch of rumors that they could not provide backup physical evidence of, and just say things based on whatever, and we're just supposed to take them at face value. But like, that literally just doesn't mean anything. It could 100% be that they're just like slighted ex-coworkers or whatever that are trying to like make him look bad and ruin his reputation, so they're just making up stuff. We don't know because we don't have physical evidence, and that's what I feel like with JLP. Now, JLP is a Protestant, and there are a lot of things wrong with his theology and stuff like that, but he is a good person. He has helped a lot of people, and I think that morally he is on the right track. Of course, I wish that he would become Catholic or whatever, but I feel like these accusations shouldn't really be taken very seriously until there is physical evidence that like cannot be disputed. You know, and if I was in JLP's position, I wouldn't even respond. You know, I wouldn't respond and be like, oh, it's just like these ex-coworkers like saying stuff about me. Like, why should I respond if they're not providing any evidence? What's the evidence? I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
The way these guys were explaining it too, it's like they were acting like they were being abused and stuff. It's like, you're a grown ass man. Like, they're clearly just homosexuals, and I don't know. I found that really weird.
Well, listen, I think Church Militant's not being very smart here. One, because like, you got to be careful. Again, sin of calumny. You can't go around just attacking people for doing stuff without good evidence. I mean, these people, you said that the people criticizing him were like drug addicts and like homosexuals. It's like the believe all women thing. It's like, these people don't have a foundation in morality. They don't have a good reason not to lie. Like, at least with a faithful Catholic, you know that they're not supposed to lie. And so you can't really trust their testimony all that much, you know? Like, I mean, the world's very cutthroat. People will lie about anything to get anything.
Yeah, there could be like a number of reasons too. Like JLP apparently runs this Christian organization, right? Christian in quotations, obviously, but he runs this Christian organization, and he has these gay people come on, and he tries to help them or whatever, and they join his organization, and then who knows the other side of the story? Like, were they slighted by him? Did they not get the pay that they thought they were going to do? Did they feel like they were thrown under the bus or something along those lines, and they have a reason to make up lies? Now, Milo seems to believe that these allegations are credible, right? And I trust Milo or whatever, and apparently there might be some evidence that they couldn't share or something along those lines. But if there is evidence that they couldn't share, not to dox people or whatever the case may be, then you shouldn't have published the story, because you're publishing the story under the fact that it's just these people and what they have to say. And what they have to say does not hold any credibility whatsoever if there is no evidence. Like, that's just the bottom line. And I think Nick said it in one of his Twitter things. It's like you're attacking these Christians or whatever more than you're attacking like our enemies, you know? And don't get me wrong, I fully believe in like exposing people who are using Christianity or Catholicism as like an aesthetic to try to push something or whatever, but then like simultaneously going against the beliefs that they're supposed to have or whatever. Like I fully believe that we should expose pedophiles and homosexuals within the Catholic Church and all that stuff or whatever, but you also need to provide real evidence. You can't just go by like accusations. Like, people do that all the time too. Like I was watching some documentary or some video or whatever on the McCarrick case, and they were like, St. John Paul was informed about these allegations and he didn't do anything about it. And it's like, well, they were just allegations. Like, you do expect somebody to do something just based on like baseless allegations that you don't have any evidence on? Like, if anybody could just make up any type of story, then it just holds no weight whatsoever, you know? I don't know.
I was just going to add in, I think what we've lost really is the idea of innocent until proven guilty, and we're just having to prove our innocence, which is sickening, kind of.
Yeah, 100%. It's absolutely.
Spexo, I don't mean to change the topic, but there are people in chat talking about like orthodoxy is better than like cringe New Order Catholicism, and I just want to say real quick, guys, I would rather go to a clown mass than an Orthodox mass, because at least the clown mass is in communion with the Catholic Church. Okay,
Yep.
like
At least I'm receiving you there.
well, yeah, I would. It's imprudent, right? It's imprudent to go to a clown mass because it's not good for your soul. But what I'm saying is, like, you guys can't let your opinions on the liturgy or like cringe things happening in the church determine what the truth is.
Mhm.
The true church is the true church. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, the Eastern churches were Arian in the early centuries. That doesn't mean you'd apostatize from Christianity if you lived in the East.
Mhm.
Because true Christianity existed, even though you were surrounded by like the more based Arians or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. So for example, like, I'm going to a Latin mass for the first time ever in the morning. Now, I've watched Latin mass and I've formed the opinion that, in my opinion, the Latin mass is basically superior to the Novus Ordo mass, right? And I don't mean that in terms of grace or in terms of whatever. I mean that in terms of like aesthetic or in my personal opinion, right? I'm not like saying that like the Novus Ordo doesn't have the same amount of grace or whatever the case is. I think that the Latin mass is just more beautiful and suffers from way less problems than the Novus Ordo mass, right? So I'm deciding to go to the Latin mass tomorrow, but that also doesn't mean that I'm saying that like the Novus Ordo is any less valid. Like, I love my parish, I love my priest or whatever. The problem that I have is that they have a lot of guest priests. Like, they have a bunch of foreign priests from like India and stuff, where when they give their homilies, I can't understand a word they're saying. And then a couple of times they've sung like very modernist hymns, like at the end of mass, like God Bless America, which really rubbed me the wrong way. So it's not that I don't like my parish or whatever, because I've gone to far worse parishes, like when I went to the one in Florida, which was just complete clown mess. So that made me really appreciate my parish or whatever. But it's like, I feel like there is something more that I could be getting out of mass or whatever. So I'm going to try this Latin mass for the first time tomorrow. I'm very excited about it. But yeah, as far as orthodoxy goes, I wish Pine Sap was here with his robot brain so he could better like just BTFO you guys or whatever. But the Orthodox Church is not the true church. They cannot decide on anything because they have no singular authority. They have different opinions regarding contraception and divorce and things of that nature, because they have, like I said, literally no communion with one ultimate authority where they all are in agreement with what morality is.
Well, the most damning thing for me, and I'm sure some ortho bro is gonna have like a 15 paragraph argument about this. Okay, I'm not here for a debate. I'm just saying my own opinion. But the most damning thing for me about orthodoxy is that there's two big Orthodox churches in the United States: the Orthodox Church of America (OCA) and the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia (ROKOR), and they teach different things about baptism. I think the OCA rebaptizes you if you were baptized Protestant, and ROKOR does not. So, and baptism is essential to salvation. So, what do I need to do to be saved? The Orthodox churches don't have one clear teaching on this, and that's a pretty significant issue that maybe they should figure out. But they can't call an ecumenical council on it because they haven't been able to call an ecumenical council since what Florence?
Facts.
And
they don't even
they don't
they
have
don't,
a
they didn't
pope.
even accept Florence. Florence was the biggest red pill for me. But go on.
But yeah, that's true. Because Mark of Ephesus was like, nope, we don't accept it, and then everyone listened to him. But it's more nuanced than that. I get it, but like it's a pretty big deal that I don't know what I'm supposed to do. If I go to one Orthodox church, they say a different thing, and if I go to one Orthodox church, they say I need to be rebaptized. That's a pretty significant issue. I mean, this is not just contraception. Contraception is pretty important too, but this is like baptism is the key to the Christian life. Even Protestants admit this. And so if you don't have a clear teaching on baptism, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little more skeptical of your church. Maybe a stronger church authority would help you guys.
Big facts. Can you guys do me a favor? Can you guys talk to each other for like 5 minutes so I can go pee mode real quick?
Yes.
All right, good. Go ahead.
Hey guys, I got a question. So
What's up?
By the way, Chad, thanks for the prayers. Appreciate it.
my parish does Latin mass at 7 a.m. on Sundays and all throughout the week. But
Ooh.
I go to 11 o'clock mass, and they do it in English. So is that Novus Ordo, or is that like what type of?
That's Novus Ordo.
All right. So, but I don't have a problem like specs. So like my church doesn't bring like foreign, deacons or foreign priests. It's always the same priest every Sunday, and it's very traditional. Like everything's like the aesthetics. Like it's what you'll see in, I'm guessing in a Latin mass. And there's never any rock bands or anything like that. It's very like, yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
very traditional. So I'm pretty sure my church. I mean, maybe one day I'll go to a Latin mass someday, but it's just so early in the morning that it's very hard because it is like 30 minutes away. But I guess I might just do it
No. I get what you're saying, brother. Like reverent Novus Ordos exist. I just think, well, at least in my experience, and I don't know what Spectre's been through, but in my experience, like you have not seen a bad Novus Ordo, and God bless you, bro. I mean, I've had priests, I've had priests like change some of the words sometimes. Not like when they're confecting the Eucharist, but they're like, "Go in peace and have fun." At the end of Mass, like
no, my father would never. He's like the most based boomer I've ever met in my life. He's just always so like solid face. He's like, but he's like a very cold heart in the end. When he shakes everybody's hand, he has a big smile. But like during Mass, he's just on top of it. He's throughout the Mass. He like his opening. I don't know what it's called, but he sings something in the opening, and it's in Latin, and it's like it's very soothing to hear, and it's good to know that there's especially in the South, there's a father and there's a parish like this that's is not cuffed and not saying. That's why I was very worried about finding a good parish, and this was like the first parish I walked into, and like I sat down in the pews, and the service started, and I'm like, yeah, this is the parish. This is my parish.
That's awesome.
yeah, you don't let like rad trads get to you where it's like if it's not a Latin Mass, it's not reverent. Like even I've heard like people like Bishop Williamson say, funnily enough, that like there are reverent Novus Ordos. There are valid. Well, all Novus Ordos are valid, but there are like perfectly fine Novus Ordos without any irreverent practices. I mean, most people receiving on the tongue, like. I was having a debate about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of men that receive on the tongue. Like they even bend the knee, and that's probably the way
back from PP mode.
That's probably the way I would receive communion when it's my time. I'll bend the knee and receive on the tongue.
Yeah. I would would stick with your parish because it sounds like you found something good. But if you want to try out a Latin mass, I mean, it's beautiful.
I mean, yeah, you just go there. Since you have Latin mass at your parish, I mean, you have that option. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'll probably do. I'm just trying to learn more into like the church because I've just been going for like 2 months now, and I'm gonna learn more, get more into the tradition, and hopefully learn Latin so I can understand.
Yeah, praise God.
The moon is pretty okay.
Okay, that's yeah. One thing to note too is that a Novus Ordo Mass is no less pleasing to God than,
of course,
like traditional Latin Mass. Obviously, that reverence it matters, and when you have like liturgical abuse, then that is potentially very bad. But just like a Novus Ordo, especially a reverent Novus Ordo, is a great thing, and it can be. I think a Latin Mass can be a little daunting to people that are new to the church. They don't know anything about it. Yeah. They're just like, what is going on? They're speaking in tongues. I don't know what's happening, especially for converts. Yeah. But yeah.
I'm pretty sure TM7 receives the Eucharist on the tongue.
Yeah, definitely. TM7, the traditional Catholic rapper. But no, yeah. So somebody came into our chat the other day, or yesterday, I believe, and was like, I know I stopped going to the Novus Ordo Mass because I know that Mass is the reason for the mass exodus of the church or whatever. And it's like, no, that's like the Taylor Marshall way of thinking about things or whatever. You need to have this nuance. You need to be able to discern, like it's an important distinction. It's not the Novus Ordo Mass, because the Novus Ordo Mass done in the proper formation that it's supposed to do is very similar to the traditional Latin Mass. If you watch a reverent, properly done within the confines of the proper formation, reverent Novus Ordo Mass on YouTube or whatever, you could barely tell the difference between that and a TLM Mass, right? Like, it's very similar, yeah. Right? But the problem is that there are so many liturgical abuses and people going against the formation that has gone uncorrected by our weak hierarchy within the clergy, that is what has caused the insanity of the clown masses that we have today. But the problem also is that these rad trads just label it Novus Ordo like it's just a blanket statement, like Novus Ordo was the reason for this. And it's like, no, because then you're basically saying that what I guess essentially the magisterium promulgated, which is by, extension what Christ is promulgating is something like heretical or whatever. God is not saying like you should have segues in Mass, or you should do these crazy insane things where you should have these modernist hymns and all these different like instruments and have a full band and drums and all this stuff or whatever. There's a proper formation that you're supposed to follow according to the new Novus Ordo Mass that might even still at its best be slightly different and lack the beauty, I guess, subjectively, according to, compared to the Novus Ordo, compared to the Latin Mass, but it is not supposed to be done the way that it's being done in like 99% of parishes across America, and that's like the big distinction that people need to have.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that what ended up happening was Vatican II, there were things that were supposed to be exceptions, like receiving in the hand or extraordinary ministers, but that just became the norm somehow. Mm-hmm. So correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No, so communion on the hand, right, was like, that was something that, I don't remember the full story or whatever, but like, it was done for like a certain reason or whatever, and then it just became like the common practice. It was not like said in Vatican Council. It's not in any of the councils or anything like that. It's an accepted practice, I guess, or whatever. And if you really want to get technical, it was technically done up until like the I guess 10th century, the 900s or whatever. But it was done in a much more reverent way with napkins and still kneeling and things of that nature, where people really truly believed in the full presence of Jesus Christ in the Eucharist, right? So, in my opinion, first of all, the ordinary way of receiving the Eucharist is on the tongue, and everybody should receive on the tongue. I receive on the tongue, and I think that everybody should receive on the tongue. It is not a condemned practice, according to the Church, to receive on the hand, but I would say that it is, at the very least, imprudent, I guess. But the more important issue is not whether you're receiving on the tongue or the hand. It's whether or not you are truly believing in the full presence of Jesus Christ in the Eucharist. Because somebody took some poll or whatever, which like 70% of Catholics said that they didn't believe that it's actually Jesus Christ in the Eucharist, which just basically means they're not Catholic, they're heretics, right? Like, that's insane. So I mean, that is what we need to like really focus on. in my opinion, right? That like people are just not even really fully accepting that Jesus Christ is really there in the Eucharist.
Well, a couple of things. If you do receive on the hand, by the way, for everyone watching, you need to you have to check your hand in case there's like a crumb left. I mean, if it's microscopic, you're not culpable for that. But like if there's a crumb of the host left, you need to check your hand. You need to consume that. And the other thing, you were talking about like weak hierarchy. What do you think about the situation with the bishop who like banned the BLM flags and the pride flags from the school? I mean,
that was awesome.
I think the church could use a couple more bishops like that. You know?
Yeah. Oh no.
More than a couple.
I think the whole church should be filled with that. I think a lot, and with all due respect to their offices, I think that people like James Martin should be laicized. Now, I say that with full respect and charity to his office. I respect his office. I respect all that stuff. But I think that he has made it clear that he is using very sneaky tactics in the way that he teaches and professes the faith, that he might not be doing something that is strictly heretical because he is very careful with the way that he talks, but he is leading people into scandal and error, and I believe that he should be laicized. So when you have these bishops that are taking a stand in spite of social norms and social pressure, where they're saying, no, we don't accept the BLM flag, we don't accept the LGBT flag and all that stuff, and I think the story was that they wouldn't allow a school to be called Catholic because they were flying the BLM and LGBT flag, which is awesome. And I also think that if one person does it, that might give courage to other bishops to do that and take a stand or whatever. Because I think a lot of bishops, even if they feel a certain way, if they feel like they're against it or whatever, they might not want to take a stand and say anything because of social norms, right? Static, please stop sniffing every 2 seconds in the mic. Thank you. What was I saying? So, but also, I think I've said this before, that there is a hope for the future of the Catholic Church, because the Zoomers and all these new people who are going into seminary now are much more traditional, and I think that the future of the church is very bright. I don't think that the next pope is going to be some like rad trad or whatever, or something like that. Like, I don't think the next pope is going to be somebody that's extremely based like Syrah or whatever. Even Cardinal Burke, I don't think that they're going to be elected pope by the current cardinals. But I do think that in the future, maybe 50, 100 years from now or whatever, because the people that are going into seminary now are the ones that are very much more traditional or whatever, are going to reinvigorate the true spirit of the church. That's my opinion.
Can't wait till we have Father Zoomer in the parish. He's like, hey, yo, for real, no cap. I'm going to keep it a stack. It's the body and blood of Christ.
I think that's worse than clown mass.
Yeah, that's been funny. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Hey, guys, can y'all help me find something?
What's up?
All right, so I was talking to my Protestant friend, and he basically said something that Archbishop Fulton Sheen said, that liberalism or atheism, one of the two, I don't remember, is just like a way for the left to commit sin but not feel guilty. And I saw a picture on Telegram where it had a picture of Archbishop Fulton Sheen, and that caption on it was his quote. And if any of y'all have that or know what it is, can you post it or send it to me? Because I want to send that to him so that he can see some based Catholic stuff.
Wait, what was the quote you're looking for? Fulton Sheen's quote on what?
He basically said that liberalism is an excuse to sin with impunity. And I've spent like 15 minutes on the internet looking around for it, and I think because I can't find it just on the internet, it has to be on Telegram somewhere. Because I know I've seen it, I just can't find it again.
So it says there is no word more dangerous than liberalism, because to oppose it is the new unforgivable sin. Yeah, that's like the only quote so far.
Yeah, that's not it. I've been looking around and I can't find that.
You sure it was Fulton Sheen?
Yeah. Yeah, now some people are sending some. It's not like him just talking about atheism or liberalism. It's him basically saying that it is a worldview that allows people to sin with impunity.
I don't know. Pine Sap in chat. Pine Sap, get your butt into the live chat right now. Stop with your family nonsense. All right. Streaming on Cozy for 58 people
Pine
is
Sap.
far more important than seeing your family. Okay.
Pine Sap, your favorite Spexo apologist is here, so you can't miss me here.
The Spexo Katir Static, who anytime somebody says anything bad about me and I ban them, he will DM them and be like, "Hey, retard, what's up? You got something bad to say about Spexo?" That's the fans I want. That's the fans I demand. All right.
Oh yeah, and then I just send him like duck bots all day.
So you need to make a loyalty pledge like Nick Fuentes.
Yes, my loyalty pledge is the loyalty pledge to the church or to the
I will
magisterium.
kill.
I should say.
I will kill. I will
kill,
pillage,
die, and rape for the
will
magisterium.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Like, I'm not
the
in,
one
favor,
holy
I'm not in
Catholic
favor of
Apostolic
rape or
Church.
anything like that. I think rape is wrong. But if the magisterium told me to rape, like there's nothing I can do. Like, what do you want me to go against the magisterium? Like,
wife says, "Oh, so you would listen to the magisterium, Spexo?" Like, yes,
babe,
honey.
I don't want to cheat on you,
Yes.
but the magisterium tells me I have to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wife
The magisterium told me I have to go to Costa Rica and find a.
I just hear her stomping down the stairs.
Yeah.
What did you just say? That would be kind of funny if she actually heard you.
Pine
She's
Sap is
like,
in
"What?"
chat right now, and he's muted, and he's not talking, and it's really bothering me.
Hey, Waspy man, come on,
Pine Sap
Wasp man.
needs to
Wasp
come
man.
on and defend his Anglo nonsense.
His Anglosphere.
So am I defending my Anglo nonsense?
There he
or
is.
what?
Real quick, I need you to back me up in this because you're like the robot here. There are people in the chat saying that Catholics can attend Orthodox Mass and it fulfills your obligation. That's wrong, right?
Wrong.
Yes, that's incorrect. Like, you're not okay. Here's as far as I remember, what the Catechism says on it is you can like go to one without necessarily sinning if you have no like intention of being like schismatic or whatever. Like if it was maybe like an act of good faith to try and make your like ortho friend like Eastern Catholic, but like no, you cannot go to one to attend your Sunday requirement because that would constitute an act of schism.
It's only in emergency circumstances. Same.
Yes.
Right. It's only like if you are, for whatever reason, which I don't even think is a possible reason in modern society, honestly. It's only in the fact like if there is no Catholic Mass around you or something along like that, and the only way that you can receive the sacrament on the day of obligation is through the Orthodox Church, then you are permitted to go to the Orthodox Church and receive the sacraments if there is no other possible way. If you are in any position where you can receive the sacraments from any Catholic church, then going to an Orthodox church, you would be committing sin.
Tap, I think you're echoing.
Yeah, Static,
Speaking
you were echoing really bad.
Oh, it might be me. I turned down my sound a little bit.
Good
Wait,
now?
hold on.
Hello?
Yo, King Nub knows who I am. Yo, let's go. King Nub knows who I am. That's insane. I did not even know you even knew of my existence. I love you, King Nub. That's awesome. I mean, I don't know what you think about.
He showed our show on his show the other day.
What? Yo, what? I love King Nub. I didn't know he even knew who I was. That's crazy. I don't know if he likes me or not, but I like you, King Nub.
I don't know much about King Nub, but I heard he's pretty cool.
He's
I don't even
awesome.
know who it is.
I love King Nub. Ode 3
Is
to
he
King
Christian?
Nub.
Isn't he? Did someone say he's a Mormon or someone else?
I don't know what he is, but do you know who Ali Jamal is?
No, actually.
That's crazy. Yo, King Jamal for Logos Triumphant, Pine Set?
Bro, I'm all down.
That's crazy.
I actually don't know who that is, but he's probably
But
cool,
welcome
so I'm down.
to Cozy. I mean he's been on Cozy for a couple of weeks now, but they just announced it. Nick just re-telegrammed it, whatever the proper terminology is. But welcome, King Nub. I love you. You're awesome. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, Ali Jamal is awesome. If you don't know who he is so endearing. I love him so much.
I'm going to the.
Pine Sap,
What?
are you home yet?
Like, I'm home. I don't know how long I can stay on because my folks are like watering and stuff like that. But I thought I would just hang out,
They're watering?
hang out in the Catholic hangout a little bit.
They're watering what? Plants?
Yeah, plants on our back porch.
All right, based.
Oh, so did you guys see the video of Sebastian Gorka saying that Nick Fuentes will burn in hell? I was like, who are you to say he'll burn in hell? Stu Peters got like tight. He got mad. He was like pissed off.
I'm so confused on like what like I'm supposed to feel about Stu Peters. Like, is he pro AF or what is going on? Does Nick like him?
AF.
Because I don't know. I feel like there's like mixed reviews. I don't know if I'm supposed to like him or not.
He's pro AF.
I don't know. Because what he did at AFPAC was kind of gay, but but ever since then he's kind of like redeemed himself. I feel like
he's red pilled on it. He had like a couple segments on the Israel thing, and he brought up some like information that I didn't even know of. Some of the information.
If Stu has been reconciled to AF, then obviously I support him. I like his like no, I don't care attitude, kind of like he's like a bounty hunter rapper who will just kill you if you disagree with him. That's pretty based, honestly.
He posts a lot of wholesome stuff on his like Telegram, like with his kids and like recording his kids playing Little League baseball and stuff and hockey. 4 of them, I think.
His 4 kids.
Yeah, I don't know if he's married or
I really want him to be friends with Nick Fuentes then, because that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still married. No.
Yeah, I mean, what he did at AFPAC was cringe, but I hope that he reconciled with Nick Fuentes or whatever. I like Stu Peters. He seems very very epic, and he seems like he attracts like the boomer audience too, which is good because he like opens the door for more people.
I thought I heard he was a Bene Vacantist though.
Yeah, I did see that he did post some cringe stuff about the Pope recently.
Yeah,
I'll be kind. Maybe we could change his mind on that or something. I went a little hard on him before, but I understand that it's a tough time and maybe he just needs to be shown the right info or whatever.
Listen, dude just had like a heated gamer moment, and he got a little out of himself. I don't think we should judge him by one of his mistakes. We all screw up sometimes.
Very true.
Absolutely, but on the other hand, too, like it also depends politically, not religiously, but politically. It depends on what Nick Fuentes says. I like, what I'm saying? Like, if Nick Fuentes says like somebody's bad, then I'm just gonna go with whatever Nick Fuentes says. Religiously, I go by the magisterium. I go by obviously the Pope or whatever. That's totally different. But politically. But Nick Fuentes did just repost Stu Peters, so I'm gonna go with the assumption that it's okay to support Stu. So I guess I'm hashtag screw what's his name? Stu Crew. That's hard to say.
I thought you were about to say hashtag screw Stu, and I was
Stu,
like, whoa,
hashtag Stu. Why is that so hard to say? Stu Crew. There you go.
Stu Crew.
I wonder if he's Anglo or Jewish. A lot of people think he's Jewish because of the nose.
I mean, Anglo and Jewish are the same thing. We don't have to differentiate.
Whoa. Okay. Listen.
I don't think he is Anglo because I know he has like an alcohol. Because I know Stu Peters has like an alcoholic past.
Static, you ever been to England, bro? Those guys are chugging down ale like nobody's business. Okay. England.
Yo, somebody just posted like this modern Anglo art, and it was like 2 transsexual people in golden statues. It was like a guy with a vag and a girl with a peach, and it just like vindicated completely my my anti-Anglo stance.
Pintsap, you got to go to England. You got to set your people straight. Got to, man. This is not good news.
Are people saying that Anglos are similar to Celts? No, not at all.
No.
The Anglos oppressed Celts with indentured servitude, and we suffered more slavery than anybody. All right, indentured servitude was just a nicer way of saying slavery, where we were forced into servitude. All right, that is nonsense.
This is why us Italians are better than Anglos.
I will say that I'm 0% med, but I am a med supremacist.
If you actually go to Italy. Some people have gone to Italy and they come back and they're like, Italians dress probably the best out of any other race. Like, they dress nice.
Who's saying Anglos are similar to Celts? Like, go to an Anglo 150 years ago when they're calling Irish people like monkeys and stuff and tell them that, okay? You know?
Yeah,
probably get
there's
beat
literally
up.
signs that's like no dogs, no blacks, and no Irish in America. All right, so don't tell me that we weren't
Wow.
oppressed. I want my reparations. I want my potato famine reparations. I will not forget. Never forget the potato famine.
An
Potato
Irishman,
famine.
and remembering the 6 McMillion.
The 6
you're
McMillion.
Irish?
So all right. So I'm Irish mostly, and then I have like
Based.
I want to say 25 or so percent German, and then the rest is like Anglo, unfortunately, and whatever Brussels is. I still can't figure out what Brussels is because that's like
Brussels?
yeah, Brussels.
It's like Flemish or French. It like depends on which neighborhood.
Well,
you're
okay,
in.
so my
it's not-
my great grandmother was from Brussels, and she spoke French. Yeah, it's like
you're like
Wait,
Walloon.
Brussels?
it's
Isn't
what
that-
You're like Walloon. That's the ethnicity in Brussels.
Walloon. What is that? I've never heard of that. Walloon.
Oh,
That's
no,
hilarious.
this is not good.
Hold on, Brussels. Hold on, Brussels. Officially, the Brussels Capital Region is a region of Belgium comprising 19 municipalities, including the city of Brussels, which is the capital of Belgium. The Brussels Capital Region is located in the central portion of the country. This doesn't help me. It basically says it's like French, Flemish, and yeah, Walloon. That's insane. So it's not an identity. It's not. It's not real. I'm a quadroon. Somebody said I'm a quadroon.
Mr. Moonlight is here, bro.
Yo, auth access.
Yo, suck.
did-
Yo,
I did-
no profanity. We are live streaming. No profanity auth access. If you say anything,
Fuck, so you know where we're from.
that is not an excuse. We are live streaming. If you say one profane word, I am banning you. Okay, so be on your best behavior.
You're literally Irish. Your people swear like
I did-
sailors.
That's
Talk
not
about
an
the
excuse.
theology of the moon.
I did mine. Speaking of DNA, I did mine. I think I'm like Italian, half Swiss from like Switzerland, and a little bit of Irish and Greek.
Nice.
I'm actually
I hate the Greek part. I hate the Greek
Why?
part because I always make fun of Greeks because their history of being homosexuals and all that.
Bro, that is so. I don't even know what to say to that one.
Greek was a history of homosexuals. I mean, I guess in the Roman times, but that's not. I mean,
Well, that. Well, I just make fun of them for that.
Yeah, I guess
Greece-
screw
well,
Byzantium, am I right?
Well, Greece now is cocked. Greece now is terrible. It's like bankrupt
I went
right
to a Greece restaurant recently, and they did not have one crucifix or any Christian symbology around there. And I was like, how are you considering yourself a Greek restaurant and you don't have any type of Christian things around the whole restaurant? It makes no
Man,
sense.
my coworker is Greek. She's pretty alright. Like I was like, "Are you Orthodox?" And she's like, "I am, but I don't really go. I know you're pretty into Catholicism." I'm like, "Yeah, like you guys are pretty cool."
Watch the Moonlight.
See, half those Orthodox. See, half the Orthodox there don't even actually go to church at all.
Auth access.
Which is sad.
Do you agree that the moon is pretty okay?
The moon was really valid, homie. You know the vibe.
I swear, he speaks like every Zoomer is like, "Yo, fam, this shit."
He
This
speaks like the
bussin',
Zoomer meme
bro.
where it's like, "Yo, that be sussin',
This
yo,
bussin'.
this is
This
bussin'
bussin',
for
bro.
real,
Hell no.
FR for FR, homie."
For real,
with
bro.
that haircut, the curly hair.
Please tell me you know the saying. You know the vibe. Please.
The saying
please,
what?
You're from it. You know the vibe.
Yes, I've heard that saying. Unfortunately.
Oh, thank
Spexo.
God.
See, all right, Spexo, you, me, Auth says we live in the New York, New Jersey atmosphere. We can agree
Yes,
that almost
sir.
every New Yorker talks like him. I think we can all agree on that.
I
A
think
lot of New Yorkers do.
every young New Yorker might, but I don't think that's
Yeah.
like a common vernacular in regular New York people. Like
Bro,
nobody,
you're from like the region. Oh my God, bro.
bro.
Shut up.
Eh,
But yo,
Eh,
all right, even if
don't
that
use
is the
God's
region of
name
your
in it.
slang, that is no excuse to like put your slang terminology and vulgarity above Catholicism. You say a lot of messed up stuff that you shouldn't be saying.
Nick, off.
Such as-
Don't dox specs though. Going like you're from this place, you're from that place. I mean, that's
I'm not gonna dox him. Literally, all right. What does Dayru mean? Everyone in the chat. What does Dayru mean?
bro.
I don't know. I'm low IQ.
It's not even Dayroom's not even the name of a location.
day room is a NYC catchphrase. If you know what it
Oh,
means, and
um,
good luck
hey,
Hold on,
Specs,
knowing.
hold on. New York. I want to do
Spexo and
this.
whoever else in the chat. What the heck was going on with Mike yesterday? Fucking spurging out in the chat. What
Yo,
was that
facts.
about?
I don't know. I think that he was just mad or whatever. But yo, today, like the chat was really getting mad, so I had to just like get off or whatever. But like, I also understand that there is just like an edgy type of like trolling and being ironic and stuff like that. So I gotta like let some of that stuff go or whatever. But there's people that were just like legit like Fed posting in my chat, and like I can't tolerate that. Like I don't want to get the chat banned. Like it reflects poorly not only on like me, but like on like the chat, on Catholicism, on what I'm trying to like represent or whatever. So like if I have people like that are saying, oh, we need to hang our enemies and we need to like, you know, go in the streets and fight these people, that's not what I'm about. And if you're like promoting that in my chat, I'm gonna ban you. You know what I'm saying?
That's just Proud Boy behavior. We all know what happens. They all go to jail, and their life's
Yeah,
ruined.
literally. Bro, the
Like for
Proud
example,
Boys.
I was watching Vince talk about it. One of the Patreon kids was like in his
Patreon? You mean Patriot Front? Patreon.
Patriot Front, whatever they are. But he literally he didn't he got let off with no charges. But you know what happened? He lost his job. He got doxxed, and his mom told him to pack your stuff and get out.
Yo, exactly. So,
Yo, how old was he?
This
Damn.
has always been my position that no matter what, even if you support America First or you support any type, even Catholicism or whatever, do not show your face on the internet if there is even a possibility that you can get doxxed and then risk job opportunities or mess up your life in some sort of way. Anybody who is like in their 20s or whatever that have not established themselves in life should not be showing their face on the internet no matter what. All right, like it just is not a good vibe. It's not right. What's the Zoomer talk? The vibes are not there, right? Like don't do it.
Oh
like
no.
even if you whatever, just do not do it because even if you are doing something that's totally straight in line and like you're not a legitimate like white supremacist or white nationalist or whatever, our enemies are going to label you that. They're going to find out your name. They're going to find out all your history or whatever because these people have no lives, and they're going to write articles about you so that when they Google your name, that's the first thing that's going to pop up. So now when you go to a job interview, when they do a background check on you, that's going to be popped up and you're going to be associated with white supremacism and all this stuff. It's just not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like people call me a face fag. Like I don't care because like I knew the risk I was taking. I knew that I couldn't risk my livelihood by showing my face. I don't really care what anybody says about me or whatever. But people that aren't in that position, which is the vast majority of people, should not be showing their face online. It's just common sense.
I'm a Catholic supremacist.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Spexel here. Like, you got to wear a mask. You know, like definitely don't tell people what you're doing. Especially like, try and be cautious. You know, and if you're going to events, at least in my area, like take public transport. Don't drive.
The advice
Don't
I
drive.
give is don't post photos of your car online.
Yeah, good luck trying to. Good luck one catching me, two identifying me, and three fake plates tinted windows does the trick.
I was talking to I was watching Vince.
All right, go ahead.
I was watching Vince talking about this, and he was like, you know, do you really want? Like, he was like, it's disgusting that Patriot Front is manipulating young kids that are mad and pissed off, and then when they go to jail, do they try and help them? No, they toss them like they're garbage.
I knew someone in the NS remnant. I'll tell you how it happened. I used to be very involved with the NS remnant prior to its dissolution by public authorities. So anyway,
what are you even saying, bro? What are you talking about?
The NS remnant, Patriot Front, whatever you want to call them.
Bro, stop with this like I don't even know esoteric Star Wars type reference, bro. Just say what you're talking about.
Okay, let me translate for him.
So
you knew somebody in Patriot Front.
I'll do it. Okay. All right, a little bit of context here. So do you remember the Politigram server that I had you like promote way back then?
No, I haven't used Discord in like 2 years. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, okay, but you spread the word. So anyway, what happened is that one of my mods, he is Natsock, a former Catholic. He sadly doesn't believe in it because he fell for the whole Pope is a cuck meme, and he joined Patriot Front way back in the day. I want to say like 2017. I wasn't in contact with him. So he told me so recently, but he told me how should someone actually get arrested, they actually like had a lawyer to call because they had a quote unquote based lawyer. He was like a boomer Republican, but he actually had a bust of Ronald Reagan in his office, and he just thought that Patriot Front was like a bunch of nice conservative young kids. So he actually like would help him out in cases and stuff. But I don't know like how recent. I don't know if that guy still associates with Patriot Front or anything like that. But that's what
Like,
that one of my friends told me.
Boys,
even if
the
even if the
need-
lawyer helps them, that doesn't matter. They're not going to get a job ever
But
again.
there was a guy that came into my YouTube comments from my last stream where we were talking about Patriot Front and how we were basically vindicated on our position that it's basically a Fed honeypot. And the kid commented like, "Stop spreading the false narrative that there's feds in Patriot Front. That is unsubstantiated claims." And it's like, unsubstantiated claims. The cop said, like, we had an informant. That's how we found the truck. You had a bunch of Patriot Front people in the back of a U-Haul truck driving through the streets going to their destination, and they were pulled over by cops who knew what they were finding. And before they even opened the back of the trunk, they said, "You picked the wrong time to riot." And they opened the trunk and they arrested 31 Patriot Front people. And so they knew exactly what they were getting into. That is substantial evidence that there at least was an informant that knew what Patriot Front was doing and ratted them out, right? And now, even if Patriot Front wasn't technically doing anything illegal, they were dressed in like military army gear, they were LARPing with their shields and stuff like that or whatever, so it's easy to label them whatever they want to label them, even though it's not fair, even though obviously the sodomites should be arrested, blah blah blah, all that stuff or whatever. And now look what happened. 31 people have been doxxed. You Google their name, and what are they associated with? Patriot Front, a right-wing white supremacist, supremacist, whatever. You know, it's not worth the risk. Like, what are you doing? Especially these people that just don't have any actual political goals whatsoever. And the reason, besides all the other cringe aspects going on with Patriot Front, besides their LARPing nonsense and them having no real political goals, they are not centered in Christ. They accept pagans, they accept atheists, they accept all different types of Christians. They don't have their fundamental political ideology centered in spreading the word of God, spreading Jesus Christ. That's not what they're about. And that is why they are destined for failure, because anything that is not centered in Christ is destined for failure.
I would say this though, even though yes, Patriot Front does have pagans in its ranks, Christians vastly outnumber them, and they are honestly kind of bullied.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't
no
matter.
one takes them
Christian,
seriously.
They're Christian in name only then, because they are involved in an organization that, as their ideology, you look at their manifesto, they are not centered in Jesus Christ. They are centered in racialism, right? Like, that's their main thing, I guess, is like promoting whatever. They say like a bunch of like arbitrary or whatever the word is, like, oh,
they're actual Nat socks though.
No, well, the people in there, a lot of them are National Socialist or fascist or whatever.
It's genuinely bad, because my friend told me, not to put you off, but like my friend told me like how, so in one of the many meetings that they went to, you know, he didn't know where it was, because the way they got around was drivers would be selected, they would all be put in the back of cars or trucks, blindfolded, and then taken to locations. And he thinks that he was in PA when this happens, but he was in like some like rather large cabin in the woods, and inside of it was a lot of National Socialist memorabilia, an original copy of Mein Kampf, a bust of the former Führer himself, and even NSDAP gear. So it was very interesting.
Yeah,
and no one really had an issue there.
I want to ask any of those members, do any of you have kids? I want to ask every single one of them, do you have kids? Are you married?
Three of them do. Three of them do.
This one kid literally came into my chat who was like a PF member and apologist or whatever, and we were like genuinely asking him, okay, what is your like goals? You know, and like he's like, oh well, we want to support community building and like the family structure and blah blah. And I was like, okay, so how do you want to do this like politically? And he's like, well, there is no political solution. And I was like, well, then why do you call yourself a political like organization or whatever? And he was like, well, you know, if people want to retire from Patriot Front and then take their knowledge to politics, we're not going to stop them and stuff. And I was like, what are you talking about? You have like an age limit of like 35 or 40 or whatever it is, and then you expect them to go on their own free will to go infiltrate politics or whatever, but you have no like like cohesive idea of what you're actually trying to do. You're just LARPing. You're LARPing that you have these values, but you have no actual way of trying to get them in the actual world. And then you say things like, oh, there is no political solution. Then stop calling yourself a political organization. Call yourself a community organizer or something along those lines. Like it's just ridiculous. There is no like real way forward with Patriot Front, in my opinion.
And I mean, Patriot Front's not like, even the elements of Patriot Front that are Christian are very like non-denominational. Like, we need to put aside our differences.
It's majority Protestants.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, for example, like my friend, the one I told you about, he's Italian. He was actually born and raised Catholic, but like I said, he accepts more Christian identity, which was something that the former Reich came up with. And I asked him, like, well, why do you reject, like, I know he doesn't hate Catholicism. He still holds it close to his heart. He's culturally Catholic, at least, mainly because of his family. But I asked him, like, well, why do you hate this and that? And he's like, well, Pope's a cook, and he's like, look, we must all work together. Like, we must be united against the Islamic front. We must, like, national socialism will be our triumph. I'm like, yeah, the empire lost the war, buddy. The republic came in and won the day. Get lost, and then he got tight, and then we went back and forth.
Okay.
You are banned from Star Wars references. You are never allowed to make another Star Wars reference in your life. All right? Can you do that?
Okay.
I mean, the U.S. literally won the war, though. Historically accurate.
But let's be serious, though. It is.
Yo,
it is
disgusting.
disgusting.
I've been completely neutral on Star Wars. I've watched all the movies. I liked some of them or whatever. I'm not like a Star Wars fan. I've been completely like, some of it's okay. I really like the Mandalorian TV show or whatever. But you constantly making Star Wars references is making me despise the Star Wars universe. All right? Do you understand what you're doing? You are pushing away from people. You're pushing people away from Star Wars. That's what you're doing.
Bro, did you hear him cough when he said emperor? After he said like former Reichschancellor, cough emperor. I mean,
bro.
Anyways, but serious though, it is disgusting that they're using disenfranchised young kids.
Yeah,
it's also like a pyramid scheme too. Not to cut you off.
They're taking people who have legitimate grievances. And they are trying to galvanize these people that have these legitimate grievances and pushing them in the completely wrong direction that is going to end up ruining their lives. Which is why, in my opinion, these organizations like TRS, like Patriot Front, like all these other dissident right-wing political organizations that are LARPing as like military or whatever they're trying to be, militia, like it is not the right way. You are ruining people's lives. That is why literally the only consistent thing has been America First. That is founded on Catholic morality and values, that has actually made tangible differences in the political sphere, that is breaking through to the mainstream, that is not telling people to sign up with their real names into memberships or to LARP in military gear and things of that nature. You know, they're holding events where people are holding crucifix and screaming Christ is King and getting real politicians to actually join into their ranks or whatever. That is why I support it. These other people are just they are not on your side. People think like, oh well, they're sticking up for white people or whatever. They're giving our enemies more fuel. That's what they're doing. They're ruining people's lives. What do you not get about that?
And also to add to that, Nick also protects his fans' identity. He lets them know if you want to go to these events and you don't feel comfortable, don't go. Yeah. And if you want to go, wear something that will protect your identity. He even lets young kids know, like, be careful, please, be careful.
Yeah, who has been doxxed that went to AFPAC? Like, so there's been I guess technically two, right? Because the first AFPAC was very minimal or whatever. But there's been two major AFPAC events that were open to the public that you had to, buy the tickets with your real name or whatever. Who has been doxxed because of that? Whose information has been leaked or whose life has been ruined because they attended AFPAC? I can't think of a single person. Nobody that has been to AFPAC has been like, oh, going to AFPAC ruined my life and blah blah blah. It's not a thing. Why? Because it has that legitimacy. It has that they're doing it by the books. They're operating within the system that we are forced into and promoting the values that we espouse to have, which are fundamentally based on Catholicism. Right? That's why I support America First.
Yeah.
No. We need a grand army of the Republic to serve the Emperor.
Also, what's epic too is, can we all have a big round of applause for Vince James as the new treasurer of AF? Can we have a round of applause for him?
Because that was announced.
Yeah.
He's the new treasurer.
Yeah, he's replacing Jaden.
Vincent James is like the archetype of like what people online, I guess, should like try to be, because he's a Catholic father with 3 kids who, you know,
he's had a bad past.
Is a great family guy. He's whatever. His content is good as well, but he goes to church every Sunday. He's a practicing Catholic, and he also does not get involved with the petty drama, you know, like that goes on. Like, people talk crap about him all the time. He does not even acknowledge it. He just continues and makes his own content, and he just keeps moving on. And I mean, I've met him twice, I think now, 2 or 3 times, and he's a really nice guy, and he lives up to the expectations that he sets out for himself. I really like Vince James.
Dude, I've been watching Vince James since he was on YouTube with like 500,000 subscribers. He had a lot of subscribers, dude.
Yeah.
Like a lot. He was
with Red Elephants. He was known as like I guess like a debate moderator kind of, and then
and he was also on like doing live streams on Trump rallies. Like, he was doing that, and he also had a real job until they fired him. Like, he was actually just like a regular guy working, but also doing this on the side. Like, he was working hard. Like, he was probably one of the hardest working people I've seen.
Yeah,
he's a legend.
Didn't he get like doxxed or something, or like that he like lost his job and he had to move or something?
I think there was something that came out about him, and he lost his job. But he moved out of California to Idaho because it was like so bad in California. He did it for his kids. That's mainly why he moved. He wanted to do it for his kids and wants them to live a better life.
Yeah,
and he has an interesting past too.
I love Vince.
He has an interesting past too. I've heard stories of like he's been to jail and stuff. Like, he's had like a tough past, and you know, he's a scary dude. Like, if you see him, he's a scary dude. Like, I don't think you want to mess with Vince.
Not scary as Stu Peters though.
Oh no, Stu is like a monster. Like, if you mess with Stu, I mean, it's like he'll kill you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're tough guys, but I'm also like 2 feet taller than all of them, so it's kind
of... that's true. You're like 6'5", so I think you would tower most of them.
World order. Also, gang.
Oh, who else is in here? Yo, you guys, everybody else that's in here, if you would like, you can unmute your mic. You guys are all lurking.
Oh,
Trey Thompson, Adam Red, Rocky, Spoods.
I wonder who's gonna watch Nick's event in Las Vegas this July. I want to see what's about.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I think it's really hilarious how he basically exposed the libertarians who were saying like who were all about free speech, but then they said they wouldn't give a platform to a white supremacist. So
I'll bet you that Freedom Fest probably is like empty because it's probably like so bad because it's like this isn't 2012 anymore. Okay, we've moved past that phase.
What's so good though is that normal people, I've noticed, like when you call somebody a white nationalist or a white supremacist or any of these other arbitrary pejorative terms, nobody takes them seriously anymore. Like nobody is like afraid to like associate with people because they've been labeled white supremacists or white nationalists, because they know that the only criteria, like what's his name, Andrew Torba recently said, the only criteria for being a white supremacist right now is basically being white and not being ashamed of being white, you know. So like nobody cares about those terms anymore. They've overused them so much that they've just become completely meaningless.
I would like to make an announcement. I would like to apologize to Spexo, because Spexo, you are right about Trump being our last, our guy that we need, because after what DeSantis did about the vaccine a couple days ago, I'm convinced that DeSantis is cut, and I don't know why people are just glossing past that he's letting the government vaccinate 6-month-old babies.
Yeah,
which is disgusting.
That's not completely my take. Whatever. I always looked at DeSantis as, he's a politician. He's not like, don't give him too much credit or whatever. He's done some good things for Florida or whatever, but don't give him too much credit. He's still like a career politician. With Trump, my basic take was that regardless of his faults, what he did concerning the political atmosphere of America and radically changing the whole entire political system single-handedly and waking millions of people up, even if it was inadvertently, to distant right-wing politics, to Jesus Christ. Without Trump, I would have never went on the path I went to find Jesus Christ. All of this stuff, it's just amazing. And even you can even just say under Trump, like gas prices were lower, the economy was better, foreign countries treated us better, immigration was down, all of these different things. Yes, his administration was subverted. Yes, Jared Kushner cucked him and all this stuff or whatever, but he's still not a politician. He still is honestly the best choice currently. So if he runs again, he is the only option. And you can talk about how he's a shill for Israel and he does all this cringe stuff, and it's like, okay, then what's the alternative, right? If you are going to criticize Trump, what's the alternative? There is no alternative, right? So either you just stay out of politics, or until you can offer a better alternative, then we need to go with Trump right now, because the whole name of the game is not like we're going to just suddenly elect some Caesar, some Catholic monarch that's going to radically change the country in like a 2-second period. It's a slow progressive battle where we need to get these values and these topics into the mainstream, and Trump is the best way to push the ball forward, in my opinion. And still, you know, and I don't see anybody else doing what Trump has done.
Nick made a good point on the last stream. Some people, he was asking, like, some people are like, when are you going to give up Trump, you know, with all he's done? He's like, are you going to give up on DeSantis about the vaccine, him signing the anti-BDS law in Tel Aviv, not really doing much about big tech, boycotting Ben and Jerry's because they refused to not shut down their factories in Palestine or in the Gaza or whatever.
What was
the other thing?
What was the recent thing that DeSantis just did with the 5-year-olds taking vaxes or something?
Oh, he's basically going to let them do it. Like, he's going to let them vaccinate the kids, even though he protested against that, and he kind of cut on that.
It's not a man.
DeSantis is like low-key a sellout. I don't know if you guys saw it, but they interviewed him. He said like he won't tolerate any hate towards bags or something. Like, DeSantis is not your guys. I mean, like, all LARP aside, like, don't trust anyone.
He's also the same guy who, by the way, vaccinated the elderly in his state. Just don't forget that.
Like all LARP aside, don't.
Also,
I think the minimum, I think that anybody saying that the vax is good is retarded, obviously. But I think the minimum is that, like, people should be saying it shouldn't be forced and it should be a choice, right? Which is also a cringe position, obviously. But I think that's the minimum, like, you can get away with, right? Like, because you're not going to have many people saying, like, you shouldn't get the vax, it's poison, it's blah, 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 there's no proof of it or whatever, right? So there's not many people saying that. So I think that the minimum you can get away with is people that will say, like, it should be a choice, and if you don't want to get it, you shouldn't be, like, punished for that.
Well, I think the problem is people don't have, like, a healthy skepticism of politicians anymore. Like, no politician's going to be perfect. And so what you need to do is you need to, like, always question people. Like, what happens is people get all caught up in, like, this fervor where it's just like, oh, this guy's perfect. This guy's saying the things I want said. And then they, like, trust him too much without testing him. And it's not a good thing. I mean, like even if like the most based guy ever who was like I don't know, saying we need to have a Catholic dictatorship stuff. When he was running for president, even if he came into office, I would still be kind of skeptical of him, because that's what you need to do. Because people say all sorts of things, but it's not hard to double back, you know.
But also, Nick said the thing about DeSantis too. He's liked by Bill Kristol. He's liked by, you know, big populist think institutes. He's kind of liked by Meghan McCain.
Bro, he signed the BDS law. He signed the BDS law, which is insane. The BDS law is saying basically that if you boycott products that are from Israel, that you are an anti-Semite, and basically equating you to, like, a Nazi or something like that. Like,
why do you think what? Sorry.
No, it's just ridiculous.
Why do you think he was boycotting Ben and Jerry's? Because they refused to close down their stuff in Palestine because of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Which, by the way, all the populist Inc. and normie cons, they loved that. I'm like, that's retarded. That's stupid. Like, really, DeSantis? This is the best you got? And also, if DeSantis runs, what's going to be his slogan? His campaign slogan? What's it going to be? It's not going to be "Make America Great Again," because that's Trump's. What's it going to be, DeSantis?
Make America Israel.
Yeah, but, you know.
Which would actually honestly be based. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. Now that I think about that, that's a good slogan.
I honestly think if Trump does run, like, even though I've said what I said, but I'm going to be fair. If he does run, he'll probably win. if he doesn't get cheated again, because
I don't even care. I don't even care anymore, honestly. I mean, like, yeah, I want what's best temporally for the world. Whoever is sniffing, I'm going to murder you, okay?
Sorry.
I was gonna say that, dude. I was gonna say that. I will literally kill you if you just keep doing that.
I'm going to rip your
I'm
face off
going
on live
insane.
stream, all right? You are killing me,
Stop
all right?
sniffing into the microphone. Just do
Okay,
it.
I'm
Move your
sorry.
mic away or something. Or blow your nose. I don't know what's going on. But
I was watching the replay of the last stream too when that was happening, and I was like, it has to be static. Anyway, what were we talking about? I don't even care about politics anymore. Like, yeah, obviously we want the temporal world to be pushed towards the, God's will and stuff like that. But it's honestly like I've just been so out of the loop on politics for the last couple of months, and it has been honestly the best decision of my life. God bless you. I've just been not paying attention to it. I watch America First most of the time. Sometimes I can't even watch that because of my schedule or whatever. But it's I'm just really just focused on like Catholicism and like trying to like better my life and stuff. And obviously I want whatever is closest aligned with my values to be in the political office that are running my country or whatever. But the truth of the matter is that our regime is run by satanic pedophiles who are completely antithetical to everything that I believe in and hate me and hate my values. And I just honestly hope for the destruction of the American regime. That's basically my
Also,
thing.
I gotta how do you call it? Warn people. Be careful with the whole quote unquote red wave, because there was this one woman that won in a district in Texas that has been blue for like 250 years. She's Republican. She's not even American born. She was born in Mexico. And people are cheering her like crazy. And I'm like, really? Like, yeah, she's cool and all, but I want to see results. And she's Mexican born and she's a woman. So,
Yeah, the only woman that I'm cool with being in politics right now is Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I don't even like that she's a woman in politics or whatever, but unfortunately she is the only she's pretty much the most base person in politics.
Speaking of her, it's funny how TPUS, the SAS event, doesn't even have her as a speaker or a guest. It really is. It's interesting.
Well,
I don't see her.
The pastor speaker, is that what you're talking about?
No. I'm saying the Charlie Kirk TPUSA event that's going on.
They just released a thing that was like a pastor event or something, or is that different?
I think that's like a faith thing. It's like evangelical,
Yeah,
the
pastor thing was completely cringe. I don't even think they had a single priest on there.
No, I'll bet you I'll bet you've asked them what is Catholicism, they probably couldn't even explain it to you.
Yeah.
I'm a level with you guys. I mean, I'm passionate about politics. Like, I want to see the things done. But talking about American politics is just like we need to return to an earlier form of liberalism, and it's so hard for me. I mean, I just want to blow my brains out sometimes. It's like we gotta lower the tax rate 4%. We gotta do this, do that. Like, it's not gonna fix the country. Okay, the Constitution was written by Freemasons.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, we can get it slightly better.
Yeah, where's the politician that is calling for a complete destruction of the Constitution? That is calling for a complete return to Catholic monarchy. That's the politician that I'm gonna vote for.
Yeah, me too, honestly.
Because that literally is what it is. Like, conservatives in modern American politics, they aren't conservative. They are just a previous form of liberalism or a different form of liberalism, and they pick an arbitrary place to stop their liberalism at, and they think that is considered conservatism. And then you even see Fox News, which is supposed to be the conservative outlet of America or whatever, the only conservative news network, and they're promoting trans kids already. Like, what is next? And there was like a joke that I made like 2 years ago with my friends where it's like conservatives just continue to adopt liberal policies where it's like, of course I don't support gay marriage. That's disgusting or whatever. And it's like, I support gay marriage, but these trannies are really getting out of hand. And it's like, I support trannies now, but they shouldn't be teaching it to our kids. And then next year it's going to be like, well, we should be teaching transgender studies to our children, but we shouldn't be chemically castrating them. And then the next year it's going to be like, we should be chemically castrating them, but we shouldn't be sacrificing our children to Moloch. And then it's just going to continuously progress where it's like, what we're doing now is okay, but these crazy liberals, it's just totally arbitrary.
like that
The
meme
Don.
with the 2048 conservative, where it's like, yeah, Jesus was a transgender, but he wasn't a necrophiliac.
Yeah.
Libtard.
The Don Jr.
So true.
pipeline, where he's like, "Oh, I want gays to protect their weed farms with AR-15s." I'm like, Don, you know that's a meme, right? That's a joke.
Bro, yo,
Making fun of them.
I remember Donald Trump Jr. posted that meme like unironically. Like that's a meme that like we post to make fun of libertarians, and he posted that as like it was based, where it's like what I want is homosexual couples to be able to defend their weed farms with AR-15s or something, and Donald J. Trump Jr. posted that as like if that was like an actual stance that people should have. And it's like, no, I want homosexual couples like arrested and put in jail.
I do not
would
like
vote
Trump's family, dude.
I would vote for Joe Biden before any of the Trump kids, honestly. Like Donald Trump Jr. is like a coke fiend sex addict. He's like
Eric seems based. I thought he was a little bit retarded at first, but he seems way more based than Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, because he kind of stays out of the loop. He just stays out of it, honestly. Barron is just there.
The rest of them suck. Like Ivanka's married to Kushner, and like he's talking about building the fourth temple or something in Israel.
Dude, Ivanka literally said there was no evidence of election fraud. So what does that tell you?
Ivanka literally basically is a traitor to her father.
Including Bill Barr, too.
Yo, Vincent James came out with this article like right after the 2020 election, where he basically broke down all of the like evidence of election fraud concerning like there was more voters in this district than there are people alive or whatever, you know, like he basically broke it down in like the numbers like that. I think that he should really shill that stuff. He should make his own documentary like D'Souza or whatever his name is, Dinesh D'Souza did or whatever, which the documentary apparently was really cringe. I didn't even watch it and didn't really prove anything. But I think Vincent James would be the type of person that would be able to break down the numbers and show that it is just impossible for the way that they claim the election went down.
I was watching Vince react to Matt Walsh's "What Is a Woman" documentary. He looks like a doomer. Matt Walsh legit looks like a doomer.
Bro,
I'm not even joking.
Matt Walsh, I'm not even gonna lie. He has so many good qualities. Like he's smart, he's Catholic. You know, he has a lot of the traditional values or whatever. But like, I just wish that he would stop working for Ben Shapiro. He would stop being like a shill for Israel and you know this whole like neocon type idea and stop giving into this like white supremacist is the worst thing in the world, blah 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 nonsense propaganda. If he did that, like he would literally be one of our biggest allies because he really does have like he is able to make great content. You know, like
it's so
scummy. He's very reminiscent of Matt Fradd in that way. Where like Matt Fradd has so much good content, but he like I don't know, he like shills for Ukraine. He's like, we need to return to first wave feminism and stuff. And that's
Matt Fradd.
It's so scummy. Oh, sorry, continue.
No, yeah, Matt Fradd, like I love his podcast or whatever, and like I've watched so many hours of his content with his interviews with different Catholics and stuff like that. I love Matt Fradd, right? But it's similar to like just how I love Trent Horn or Jimmy Akin or whatever. Like, yeah, they're awesome and they're very knowledgeable about Catholicism and stuff like that, but concerning like temporal issues, they're cringe in a lot of aspects. And Matt Fradd has just been ultra cringe lately with the Ukrainian stuff and then the Christian feminist stuff. And then he posted a Pepe meme on Twitter and some Jewish person said, you know that meme is used by anti-Semites, right? And then he deleted it because he didn't want to be called an anti-Semite. It's like, my brother in Christ, please stop cucking.
But how do you call it? It is scummy that people like Matt Walsh, Charlie Kirk, and whoever they literally copied Nick's talking points, and they didn't even apologize to him for it. You know, now Charlie Kirk is talking about racial demographics and against homosexuality. I'm like, you have Rob Smith in your sorry for my language, in your inner circle. Like, really?
Yeah.
Because 3 years ago you were shilling for homos. Now you're against them now?
Somebody says Google says Barron Trump is 6'7". Is that real? If Barron Trump is 6'7", he's dead to me because I don't accept anybody that's taller than me.
Cut off his ankle. Not allowed to
Slovenian. He has like Slovenian Nephilim genetics or something. Like he was like 6'4" when he was.
Yeah, 6'1" to 6'5" is the only acceptable height. Anybody taller than 6'5" will be made shorter under my reign. So that's unacceptable. Anybody shorter than me does not deserve like an opinion, and anybody taller than me is a circus freak. Basically, that's how I look at
I
it.
wonder if Barron's going to be the successor of Trump. I wonder.
No, he's not. He's too young, bro. Like he won't be able to run until he's 35. He's like 18 now.
No, who?
Oh, yeah.
Barron's only 16, I think.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
so
yeah,
he's
yeah. He's
minor.
not for like 19 years.
I swear.
Hopefully,
if-
America will
when-
collapse by then. But
When
Yeah,
Trump
he's
retires
young.
in the future, or whatever, like in a couple like years and years, if Don Jr. runs for president, I am going to literally jump off a bridge. I don't want him to run.
well, he's clearly trying to mimic his dad, and it's just not working. Like he's just a
Not
libertarian.
only him. Not only
So what are
him.
we talking about?
Charlie Kirk is trying to mimic Trump too. You
No,
could
Charlie
tell.
Kirk. No. Charlie Kirk is just a complete grifter. Okay, Charlie Kirk does not have any actual values or convictions about anything. He goes with the flow. Whatever is currently socially acceptable, he will adopt. Like it's just, he's always like a year or two behind America First, basically. Like now he's talking about white demographics and stuff like that, and people are like, "Wow, this is so base that Charlie Kirk is doing this." It's not because he has any conviction. He realized that it's safe to talk about now, and he's not going to get in trouble for talking about it. So now he can talk about it or whatever. And now he can grift off of his audience. You know.
That's what John Miller was talking about, and John Miller used to be part of TPUSA back in 3-4 years ago.
I thought he was part of
So he
Blaze. He was
knows-
part of TPUSA. He's part of Blaze
Well,
TV.
not part of TPUSA. He was a speaker at one of their events.
Oh, okay.
Toilet paper USA.
Real quick, bros. By the way, that's a Reddit joke. So I mean, like, cool it. But real quick, bros. I'm gonna head out. God bless. I'm gonna go pray the rosary and go to bed.
God bless. See you later.
Good night, Brody.
Yeah,
Have a good one.
I got about 10 or 15 minutes left in me.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, we're 1:45. Yeah, we got about 15 minutes left. If anybody wants to come in, there's a bunch of other people who haven't contributed. If anybody else wants to talk, Nutria, Pepe Crusader, Tom Prombone Zoomer.
Hey, I've spoken a little bit.
Rocky, Dugan Friends, Vika, Adam Red.
I just wanted to say that I'll be getting confirmed soon, hopefully.
Let's go.
My boy.
What are you? Are you
I was
RCIA?
Not really. I was raised Catholic, so like I already knew all the theology. I just didn't get confirmed when I came to that age. And watching some of your streams here definitely kind of helped me finally commit to that, because I wasn't like SPPX or anything, but I was kind of skeptical of like the papacy, and that's been cleared up a lot by what you guys have been doing on here. So I hope at some point I'll be able to come on here and say that I've been confirmed, but I just wanted to thank you for that.
That is awesome to hear, bro. I wish you luck, and that's great. Are you like you said you were raised Catholic, whatever, but you weren't confirmed. So are you in the process of getting confirmed now, or what's going on?
I'm not sure. I went to Catholic schools as well. So when I went to talk to my priest, he seemed to think that I'd benefit more from just doing a discussion with someone than going to like a class where I probably would already know everything. But the person I met for the first time with the person who I was going to talk about theology with, and he was like, "Yeah, you're ready. I don't know why you would have to wait to be confirmed." So.
Yeah, I mean it's like a private RCIA type thing or whatever, but like you're working towards getting the sacrament of confirmation, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Awesome. That's awesome to hear, man. That's great. God bless you.
I'm on a part of the RCIA team at my parish. That's a fun time.
You like you help others through RCIA?
Yeah.
Really?
So I'm for one, I'm the like college student kind of representative, whatever. First off, trying to get college kids to convert and come to RCIA and everything, but also like being involved with like the campus ministry and all that stuff. But also I'm gonna be a sponsor this next year too, so
Awesome.
Should be fun.
Good stuff. That's great.
Also, we were talking about Novus Ordo, Reverend Novus Ordo too earlier, and Have any of y'all heard of the Shrine of the Blessed Sacrament in Coleman, Alabama?
I have not.
It's
What is that?
where Mother Angelica is buried, but
Oh wow.
like, yeah, she built it back in the 90s. Pretty awesome place. And they have a 7 a.m. in the every morning. They have a like Novus Ordo in Latin with not always with incense, but always like they have like nuns there. There's a convent there, so they're like on the other side of the church, back in their and they're chanting, which is awesome. And then it's ad orientem and all that good stuff. Like, it's extremely reverent and like traditional, but it's like it's like ordinary form. And that was my first experience with like Latin in mass. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's
Spaxo, you're gonna laugh at this.
God, what?
You're gonna laugh at this. Oh, sorry, you're gonna laugh at this. John Miller posted something on his stories from an article that says, breaking: Dan Crenshaw and staff physically assaulted by right-wing attackers shouting "Eye Patch McCain" at Texas GOP.
I saw that. I saw that guy. I saw that guy on Twitter, where he basically confronted Dan Crenshaw and said like, "Oh, what's your deal with the World Economic Forum Association? Do you have Klaus Schwab's number and things like that?" That was pretty funny.
They call him Eye Patch McCain. That's funny.
Yeah,
Okay, but continue.
Eye Patch McCain, bro.
What was? Oh yeah. So in terms of like the Reverend Novus Ordo or whatever, yeah, there is like a lot of, like I said, if they're following the proper formation of Novus Ordo, there's a lot more Latin spoken. It's a lot better. And like, I believe PineSap or somebody in PineSap's chat shared a video of how a Novus Ordo is actually supposed to like go about, and it's really like very difficult for a layman to tell the difference between a Reverend Novus Ordo mass and a Latin mass, because they are extremely similar. They might use more vernacular or something like that. And unfortunately people just think that Novus Ordo means like the clown masses that people are used to, because and that's just not the case. It's the real problem is the people not correcting the clergy for going about doing the mass in the basically Protestant way that they're doing them now.
Yeah. Which
what is this guy? This guy's sharing the Quran. Is this guy sharing the Quran? Oh my goodness. This guy.
Look how
his name is Black Lives Matter, sharing the Quran. Yeah, okay, that guy's banned.
Where?
On my cozy stream. All right, yeah, it's all right. He's banned.
Do we have any beef with the Muslims, guys?
Yes.
I mean, I know the NDH had him and the Ba'athist movements.
No, this is like such Wignat stuff, honestly, or like the Rad Trad, where like, yeah, we're gonna team up with the Muslims, blah blah blah, whatever. It's like, no, Muslims.
I don't want to team up with them. I really don't.
Listen, they're a false religion. They're degenerate, whatever. No, we do not accept Muslims. But on the other hand, I will say that socially speaking, we have more in alignment socially with Muslims than we do with like atheists or any other type of religion or whatever, because they want a patriarchy, they want a hierarchy, they want to put women in the correct places. I want to adopt the burqa. I think that all women should be in full burqa, hijab, whatever it's called, 24/7. So in terms of those issues, then yeah, Muslims have the right idea. We can learn a lot from them socially, but in terms of religiously and theology, no, they need to repent and convert. They need to stop being degenerate. They need to stop having sex with goats or whatever they're doing. No,
hey, yo,
no Muslims.
What even was their story? What even was their story again? Like, supposedly their prophet was in the cave and received something from Gabriel. Isn't that how it went for them?
Possessed by a demon. Like 100%. He even thought that he literally went back, like, ran back home and said, like, I've been possessed by a demon, like, someone help me. And then his wife, I believe it was his wife and his stepmother or something like that, or mother-in-law, whatever. Like, they convinced him that no, you've been spoken, like, you've received revelation from the angel Gabriel. At which point, then he, after much convincing, decided that they were right, and proceeded to commit mass genocide, trying to promote a false religion given to him by a demon. And then he later writes in the Quran that you should never trust the testimony of a woman. So, ironic.
That's the only base thing, basically. But
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
I don't-
Muslims converted through like slaughter and torture and all this stuff. Like it wasn't the same as Catholicism, where it was spread through our martyrs and through like changing the way that we live that attracted people and things of that nature. It was basically like, oh, we're gonna cut your head off if you don't convert to this religion or whatever, and like basically through conquering and all this stuff. And Islam was just a complete, obviously, false religion. They do, I will say, E. Michael Jones says that the difference between Jews and Muslims is that Muslims are alogos, which means they have a misunderstanding of the Trinity, where Jews completely reject Jesus Christ completely.
I was going to say that because my old classmate from my school was Muslim, but he had nothing but respect for Christ. He was just very confused, how we view God.
Christ a prophet or whatever. Like there was,
yes.
In New York, actually, they were having a play where they were portraying Jesus Christ as a homosexual or something completely blasphemous or whatever. And there was a bunch of Christian denominations protesting this outside of the play or whatever. And then some Islamic group called in a bomb threat and said, if you portray Jesus Christ as a homosexual, we're going to blow up your theater. And they didn't show the play. Now, I'm not advocating for violence or anything like that or whatever, but it does just show that Islam, at the very least, has a reverence towards Jesus Christ. They don't believe that he is divine or that he is God like they should, but they do at least have a reverence towards him, whereas Jews believe that Jesus Christ is boiling in a pot of boiling excrement, and they blaspheme his holy mother. So there is a distinct difference.
I was going to say that there were multiple times where we militarily did team up. I mean, the NDH is a prime example, and my friend's a Croat, and he told me about it, and honestly, I do admire the NDH. Imagine young Catholic lads taking on communist rebels from the east, defending towns, defending priests and all that.
I'm gonna murder you.
Waving the flag of. Imagine
Can I remove this guy from the VC?
You gotta be kidding me! All right, what's the NDH?
I want to just get rid of him. Yeah, Muslims screwed up the Middle East and North Africa.
I ain't denying that. I'm referring to the Balkans.
Whoa, I have some base news, by the way.
What up?
This Sunday, I'm taking my older brother with me to go to the TLM Mass, and this Sunday is also going to be when we're celebrating Corpus Christi. So it's going to be like a double.
Base. Yo, speaking about this Sunday, what are you guys doing for Father's Day?
I'm going for sushi. My mom is taking me out to sushi. My mom, my grandma, and my wife and kids, we're all going out to our favorite sushi restaurant tomorrow.
Base.
Call my father because he lives.
Visit him.
Yeah,
visit him,
I
homie.
gotta call my dad. Actually, I should call. I'm gonna call my dad on stream now. Actually, because I told him I would. Let's see if he answers.
Bro, it's almost 1 a.m.
Yeah, he lives in Vegas, so it's 3 hours behind me. So it's only.
Oh, never mind. Then I could definitely feel it.
I want to see where if if my dad answers. That'd be funny if he does. No. Nope.
Damn.
Wow, he just said nope. He just hit the deny button.
It's okay, bro.
Yo.
What's up, man?
What are you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Nothing. We're on live stream right now. I just figured I'd call you. It's Father's Day now in my part of America. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Just watching TV, chilling out.
Nice. What do you have to say to to the Spexo fans out there?
Yo, keep doing what you're doing.
I love the dad, boomer dad.
Keep gathering the information. It's all good.
So true. So true. How you feeling?
Everything's good, man. Everything's great. It was nice out today. We went down to the strip, walked around for a while, and we're just chilling.
Nice. Are you excited for next year's AFPAC 4?
I can't wait. I'm making a vacation for a couple of days.
What do you
For 2 weeks.
stay there for 2 weeks this time?
Yeah, they should have it for a couple of days. They should have more meetings and more speakers, you know?
Yeah, hopefully it's a 2-day event. What do you think about, remember I was telling you the black guy that we met, Jesse Lee Peterson, and that they're saying that he's gay now? What do you think about that?
Well, from when I met the guy just seemed like a real good guy.
Yeah.
And you meet some people and you can tell them, they're like, I don't know, I don't want to curse on this thing, but that guy just seemed like he was on the money. And a kind of spiritual, religious kind of dude. I'm sure people have opinions of him, but me personally, from what I met him, I think he's a great guy.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what we were basically saying too. That there's no real evidence; it's just hearsay at the moment.
Well, it's like anything in life. Once you stand up for something that has really good values, they're gonna attack you.
Yeah.
People don't like that.
So true.
I like
so it's
this
horrible. You
guy.
put a target. Once you stand up, you put a target on your back, and that's why when you stand, you gotta stay standing.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not going to back down, right?
No, hell no.
All right, awesome. All right, have a good night. I love you.
How many people are on now? Anybody on? You got people to vote?
We have almost 50 people watching. We're actually about to end it soon in a couple minutes. I just wanted to give you a call before I ended it, get you to come on.
Spexo, ask your dad if there's any embarrassing stories about you he can
doing what you're
tell.
doing.
Hold on, wait. What'd you say, Adam?
Real quick, ask your dad if there's any quick embarrassing stories about you he can tell us.
Oh, Dad, do you have any quick embarrassing stories about me you could tell them?
None at all, man. The kid's been a perfect kid his whole life.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Why would you want to embarrass anybody?
That's what somebody asked.
I know it's all out of fun, but yeah, nah. Yep. Kerry was a spoiled little fat kid. Now look at him now.
It just docks my real name. That's cool. All right, have a great night, Dad. I love you.
Oh no, your dad is dirty, homie.
All right, I love you. I'll talk to you later. Happy Father's Day. All right, bye. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Dad.
Oh, I love you,
All right,
Dad.
that was
Your
great.
dad is
That's awesome.
your dad is such a
I don't
baby. I
want
love
to
him.
cut that out.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I'm gonna try to go to AFPAC 4 just to meet your dad. I'll be like, so you're Spexo's dad that always gives out your name all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yo, he literally. We went to the anti-vax rally, right? And I tried to explain to him. I was like, look, nobody gives people like real information or whatever, and like, you know, like we're just like on the internet, like you don't have to tell people like any personal stuff or whatever. And he was going up to everybody. He's like, oh, you know my son Spexo? Yeah, well, you know his name is blah blah blah, and he works blah blah blah. And I was like, what are you doing? Like every person, I was like, what are you doing?
He's just a boomer. He's just an innocent boomer.
Here's a
Boomers do
social
that all the
security
time.
number if you don't mind.
Yeah, here's his
I mean,
social
he looks
security
like-
number. Here's his everything.
My
It's
credit card
boomers, man.
information.
It's boomers, dude. They do that. It's a father thing.
Think he knows any better? Nah, he don't know any better, bro. He don't know any better.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that was great.
You know, Spexy.
Spexy.
Spexy. Don't ever say that again.
Spexy.
That made me extremely uncomfortable.
Hey, yo, not like that, you mooks.
I think you just ruined Spexo's day now.
Hey, yo, come on. We don't gotta no mook stuff in the chat. Come on.
Where's number one Dugan friends? He's been here the whole time and doesn't say anything. Do you talk? Do you have a voice?
Just an introvert.
He just lurks in the chat.
I was gonna say, look, what's everyone's thoughts on what's the guy's name? The one that took Jerusalem back but was very merciful to the Catholics, Saladin, whatever the heck.
Saladin?
Wasn't he with the Orthodox?
No,
No.
the Saracens or whoever.
Yeah,
He was the guy who
Sultan of
Saint-
Egypt.
Yeah, St.
Yeah.
Francis. He walked to the Middle East to go screw off, and yeah.
He was a Sunni Muslim Kurd who became the first sultan of both Egypt and Syria and was the founder of the Ayyubid dynasty. Saladin led the Muslim military campaign against the Crusader states in the Levant. I don't know much about him, honestly.
He
Apparently he was.
He's burning in hell because he's not Catholic, I guess.
Naturally, yeah. Of
Apparently he was. I don't know how true it is, but like apparently he actually was merciful to the Christian. Like he let them go. He was like, right, go. Like he didn't kill or anything. Which like just go, literally.
That's not exactly true.
Who was one
Again?
leader?
I don't know
What
the
do you
whole
do?
story.
What's the story, Nutria?
It's Saladin. Crap. Who was the leper king? You know what I'm talking about?
Leper King.
Baldwin the Fourth.
Baldwin. Yeah. So Saladin absolutely decimated King Baldwin. They pretty sure they besieged Jerusalem and killed like every last Christian there. So, and that's why Francis of Assisi went to the Middle East to basically tell him to stop slaughtering Christians.
But why was there? I was watching the movie about it, and why did they portray in the scene where he's walking inside and he sees a cross on the ground, and he like picks it up and puts it back on into the table like perfectly? Like I don't know if he actually did that in real life.
What movie was that?
I forgot what movie it was, but it was about Baldwin the Fourth. And
on a
I
TV.
forgot. It's in the It was made like early 2000s.
Is it the one with like
with the guy who played William in Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah,
that one.
I haven't seen that movie, but yeah, that's probably that. I don't think that movie was that historically accurate. There was some stuff that was apparently pretty good, but as far as I know, it was not perfect. And I'm sure they just threw that in there because, like, haha, yeah, religious unity, which is fake and gay.
But Baldwin the Fourth was like one of the most scariest leaders out there. Even with his disease, he was like a fearsome king.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he he gave all his suffering to God. He literally just said, "Lord, do with me what you will," as you know, which is what we're all called to do. And he was graced with great leadership skills and just I guess a incredible mind.
They need to make a movie about Louis the Ninth, my confirmation saint, because he was like the archetype of like the best Catholic monarch.
Yeah,
he was always with his men too. Louis the Ninth, always with his men, always fought in the front
I need to
line.
find a good book on him. That's what I need to find.
We need leaders like that. Now they just sit behind a desk.
Yeah, well, that's because I mean, at one point, obviously, you had to be able and willing to fight and die for your people. And when that went away, then so did the moral integrity of monarchy.
Everything.
Yeah.
Monarchies now don't even have any power anymore, sadly.
Monarchies now are also fake and gay, just like
it's just in name only, basically. There's like one
just for ceremonial
country that is just
purposes.
completely irrelevant that actually has like an absolute monarchy still, and they just have no power whatsoever. And that's what all these Enlightenment evolutions were. It was against the monarchy. The whole thing was to disrupt the natural order of things. Like virtually all of the Western world, and even outside of the Western world, in Asia and stuff like that, everything was ran through a monarchy, and then they replaced it with liberal democracy, which basically just becomes an elitist oligarchy, and it's just all fake and gay satanic nonsense where it's just we're living under the guise of liberty and freedom, which we have none. They're making it easier for us to do things that are bad for us, like watch porn and just eat as much as we want and do all this degenerate stuff, but they're making it rapidly harder for us to have families and do things that are good for us. And like, people want to talk about how bad the Middle Ages were. I just posted something where it was like, in the Middle Ages, all of these peasants were basically working 14 weeks a year, doing their crops and getting what they had to do, and then the rest of the time they had off to praise God and like do what they wanted to do.
But bro, they go to the movies and watch the newest
Marvel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fuck Marvel.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Marvel cuck. I do like Marvel movies, but they're getting progressively worse with like all their diversity nonsense and gay stuff. But
I honestly stopped following after the not even before Endgame. I literally stopped watching, and that's when I got into Star Wars instead.
I haven't watched.
I just watched Lord of the Rings and the Passion of the Christ.
Over and over again, just on repeat. Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
and Passion of the Christ. I'm trying to think. What is the last Marvel thing I watched? I watched a bootleg version of the new Doctor Strange movie. I didn't think it was that good. I like the new Spider-Man.
Bootleg.
Yeah, like on somebody that recorded on like a cam thing. I didn't see it in the movies.
Bruh. Okay.
What else? Yeah, I didn't watch the new Moonlight series. I heard that was bad. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't really been watching any type of media lately.
Wait, Spexo. Not to cut you off, bro, but do you know about Daredevil?
Do I know about it? Yes, I know about Daredevil.
What do you think about Daredevil, bro? He's literally a Catholic hero.
Is he though? I mean, he's kind of. I mean, I guess in name only.
I mean,
he's Catholic.
Marvel says he is, and even in his wiki it says that he takes his
He does go to
faith
confession.
seriously.
He helps like a priest, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
He goes to confession
I think I watched the
routinely.
first 1 or 2 seasons of Daredevil. I heard they're coming back with it. It was a pretty good show.
Bro,
I gotta
Daredevil was
rewatch
so
it,
good. Like
honestly.
he literally goes to confession. Like in a bunch of scenes, he actually goes to confession because of like all the criminals he beats up. And the priest low-key knows what he's doing too. But obviously, you can't say anything. Yeah. Daredevil is like really slept on.
It is a good show. Not gonna lie. I hope they come out with a new season.
Even the Punisher, he even does
Punisher
a
was
cameo
good.
with the Punisher in that series.
Punisher was good. Anyway, all right, this is turning into woke. All right, I think we're going to end it there. We've been doing it for 2 hours. Anybody have any other questions or any other topics that they feel like they didn't get to?
I basically just hopped in, but more recently, like I kind of want to go to another parish because mine's is like kind of modernist or whatever. Like they have these Congan people like taking care of all of the songs and all that, and like they're doing all the scripture reading in like Congolese, and like I'm like, what the heck is this? You know, it's what's with all this multicultural stuff, and so it's like I want to go to like a more reverent mass, but at the same time, like I don't want to. I don't want to feel like I'm purity spiraling by saying like, oh, this mass, although it is valid, is not like trad enough for me.
No,
So it's like
that's exactly what I'm in the position doing right now. Like we were just talking about it. Like I'm going to a TLM mass for the first time in the morning. I actually have to wake up in like 5 hours, but what's it called? And I've been going to a Novus Ordo mass for the last 2 or 3 years, whatever it's been. And I love my priest, but there are some problems that I have with the liturgy and with some of the hymns that they do. The fact that they bring in foreign priests that I can't understand or whatever. So I'm going to seek out something that maybe I can get something more out of. That is not, negating the fact that the Novus Ordo has the same amount of grace or anything like that, but it's just preferential that I find something for myself that I personally get more out of. It has nothing to do with like the supernatural aspect of it, and you're perfectly allowed to have those type of preferences, So I wouldn't let that discourage you if you feel that your priest is not, your parish is not giving you like everything that you want or whatever, and that you feel like you can find and get something out of something else, then you should be encouraged to go to those other masses and at least try them out. What's the worst that can happen? You try something out and you may see like, oh, this is a beautiful mass and I want to go here. Okay. Or you can go there and be like, oh, this isn't for me. And then you go back to your regular parish. I wouldn't be discouraged either way.
Yeah, I'm probably just thinking about it a little too much. Thankfully, I looked on the Reverend like Nova Soto website that's been posted and all that, and like there's a Reverend parish like literally like 2 miles away from me. It's literally like the same distance, but the other direction. So it's like, oh geez, what the? Yeah.
That's good. Yeah,
so
I wish you luck.
pretty-
I think
pretty
you,
tech.
I think you should go to as many different churches as you can, honestly. Like, just to try different things out, see how different parishes and different dioceses do things.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Parish hopping.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, true. I just want to get more involved. It's like, find a great parish, do what I can, really be involved with, my community and make things better, because it's like the world's about to end or whatever. So it's like, you know what? I got to take care of my people.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. We're going to end it there. I have to go to the bathroom really, really bad. We're going to do another stream on Monday. Pine Sap will be joining us. I hope everybody enjoyed this. God bless you. Go to Mass tomorrow. Everybody have a great night.